Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Here tonight, we have the RSR Cup Series at the ISM Raceway, otherwise known as Phoenix Raceway, as we take on this short track here for round number 5 of the RSR Cup Series to see who can imprint their names into the playoffs possibly here. As it's been a fantastic start to the season here, and it should be another fantastic race here live on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But to go live, we must thank our sponsors because they're the ones that make it happen here at the Evolution Racing Leagues and Freaky Fast Broadcasting. So we want to always give a special shout out to them who allow us to be here with y'all. So shout out to Or Nissan Central, the leading Nissan dealership in Oklahoma City. Remember, you can go check out their website at www.nissancentral.com. You can go check out and see what they have in store for you there, and tell them that Freaky Fast sent you there. That would be pretty cool to hear. So I always say that. So thank you to Or Nissan Central. We also want to give a special shout out to Sheffield Graphics, who helped make it happen here at the Evolution Racing Leagues. Sheffield Graphics is the leading designer in sim racing paint schemes and liveries. It was founded by a Navy veteran, and a portion of every paint goes directly to the Military Foundation Folds of Honor. It's a great nonprofit organization who gives sponsorship to the families of fallen soldiers and disabled veterans. Make sure you go check them out on Facebook under Sheffield Graphics. So make sure you go check out and see what Sheffield Graphics has in store for you, and tell them that Freaky Fast sent you. Next, we have ButtKicker. Feel what you have been missing. Every game deserves a truly immersive experience. The ButtKicker Gamer 2 lets you feel every detail, from subtle footsteps to the rumble of a V10-powered race car, from ambient environmental effects to the power of a nearby explosion. By moving a physical mass instead of only air, the Gamer 2 provides instant, accurate, powerful base response, and it's all perfectly synced with every game with no additional software required. So make sure you go check out ButtKicker and feel what you've been missing at www.buttkicker.com. You can use Freaky Fast 20 to get 20% off there on any store purchase. And remember, that is Freaky with 2 E's. You can also check out our Freaky Fast Broadcasting Facebook page. Remember, that's Freaky Fast Broadcasting with 2 E's in the Freaky there. And you can check out and enter our giveaway where we're giving away a ButtKicker LFE. So make sure you go in there as time is ticking down on that, and it's nearing the deadline there for entries, and we got a bunch of entries, so make sure you get yours in and you can win yourself some cool sim racing gear from ButtKicker. Feel what you've been missing. All right, now let's get down to the action. What is night all about here at the ISM Raceway? We're just going to call it Phoenix because that's the real home of Phoenix here at the Phoenix Racetrack. And at the moment, we're just heading into qualifying to see who can win that Sheffield Graphics poll. But I'm Zach Hall up in the booth. Join with me will be Brandon Colley, and we'll have Robert Moyer Jr. up here running all the cameras, giving you the sights and sounds from the Phoenix Raceway. Brandon, we head into round number 5 here tonight. What can we expect to see from this Phoenix racetrack?
Well, I expect to see some loose race cars here, probably some bent-up race cars by the end of it. This place is really challenging, but it's also a handful. Seen a lot of guys in practice, especially out of turn 1, losing the rear end. And this car, it really promotes a snap-loose kind of feel. And for as much wheel as you have to put out into the car coming out of turn 1, especially to cut that dog leg, it's really easy to have happen here. So guys are going to have to pay attention to exactly how much wheel input they're going to have. And I think strategy is going to be pretty big here. They're running the reduced fuel load now, down from 100% to 57%. So a lot more fuel strategy is going to go into play here. They've got 4 sets of tires in the pits, and you're going to have to use those pretty wisely.
Oh, yes, for sure. Especially with the fuel strategy there, 57% fuel load. So that's a smaller load of fuel there than we're normally used to. So these guys are going to have to pull out all types of pit strategies here to make it work tonight. Remember, we have 2 stages here tonight where the winner will receive 10 points. From there on down through the top 10, it's dispersed by 1 point. So remember, lap 45 and lap 90 here tonight, we're going to have our stage 1 and stage 2 caution of the evening to give these drivers some points and let them rack them up for going into the next few weeks. But I tell you what, points is where it gets interesting. You got Cody McCauley at the moment leading the points from the Elite Racing Group, followed by teammate there, Dylan Reed, in the second position from the Elite Racing Group. Then you'll have last season's champion Curtis Preston there in the third position, followed by Trevor Massetti and GT Irizarry, teammate from Curtis Preston, rounding out your top 5 there for Slide Jobs Racing. So very close up front right now. Right at the moment, your winners throughout this season, we have 2 wins for Dylan Reed after last week's win. Then you have a win from Curtis Preston and a win from Travis Everett. So 2 Slide Job wins and 2 Elite Racing Group wins. Right now, those 2 teams are definitely leading the points for the team points also. So it's getting spicy already 5 weeks in, and everything's getting a little bit more figured out, as it looks like right now at the moment Cody McCauley himself sitting on top of that board with a 2660.
Yeah, and it's no surprise there. We talk about any broadcast we have with Cody McCauley. He's just really that kind of short track specialist. Puts a lot of time into the late models and possibly even modifieds. Not sure about the modifieds, but definitely super late models and a lot of short track experience there. And he puts it to good use in these heavier stock cars.
It really does. When it comes to the short tracks, we always know the 62 is one to watch out for. I mean, the 62s really watch out every week, but the short tracks are definitely, you know, those are the tracks I say he excels the most that we've seen so far with Cody McCauley. But yeah, at the moment, sitting on top of the board, we got nearing a little less than a minute here to go for qualifying. See if anybody can take an attempt at it. Right now, we have not had David Hall, Rusty Modesty, Tony Ludi, or Chad Biesinger attempt a lap, but we'll have to see if any of those drivers get out there on this racetrack and attempt anything.
Well, Zach, looking at the times right now between John Willett and Travis Everett, 1,000th of a second on their qualifying time, and Dylan Reed not far behind them by less than half a hundredth of a second there in the 4th position. So top 3 right now, right on top 4 even, right on top of each other in qualifying times, separated by less than a hundredth of a second.
Yeah, man, that's pretty wild to see there how close that is. And we heard Dylan Reed last week after his win. He was talking about the Phoenix Raceway being one of his best racetracks in that 131. So I have to see if he can bring home a 3rd victory through our first 5 races. That would be impressive to see, as he's already got 2 through the first 4. And that'd be a way to kick off his season here at the RSR Cup Series. As qualifying has come to an end, and Cody McCauley will be your Sheffield Graphics pole winner here in the 62, starting out front here at the Phoenix Raceway. We'll go ahead and go through our starting lineup, and then we'll get a talk in with our Sheffield Graphics pole winner. Here's our starting lineup for tonight. Cody McCauley going to lead us to green. Second will be teammate John Willett. Third is going to be Travis Everett. 4th is going to be Dylan Reed. 5th, there goes to the 25 Ryan Bean. 6th place, GT Irizarry, actually a good qualifying position for him tonight. 7th is Kevin G. Addersich. 8th, Nolan Potter. 9th is going to be Matthew Rush. 10th is last season champion Curtis Preston. 11th is Christopher Smerol on that field on the sub roll here tonight in that 014. We'll have to talk about it a little bit. 12th is going to be James Courtrunner. 13th, Andrew Little. 14th, Zach Schrittenthal. 15th, Trevor Massetti. Kevin Ruff in the 16th position. 17th is going to go to Casey Kuntz. 18th, Dustin Stallings. Alex Rudolph in the 19th position. Kevin Zabladil, 20th. 21st, Craig A. Burns. 22nd is Bob Fitzpatrick. 23rd, Daniel Gonzalez. 24th is Nathan Campbell. 25th, Adam Buzzio. 26th, Kip Easley. 27th is Michael Sheffield. 28th, Junior Miller. 29th is Ryan Ezel. Marc-Andre Thibodeau starting the 30th position. Stephen Baldwin, new driver here tonight for his tryout, 31st. 32nd is going to be Kevin Sabilla. 33rd, Anthony Younes. 34th, Rusty Modesty. 35th, Chad Biesinger. 36th, Tony Ludi. And around your field, the 37th position is David Hall, as we got a heck of a field here tonight. But let's go ahead and get a chat in here quickly to our Sheffield Graphics pole winner of Cody McCauley and see what his thoughts are on starting on the pole here tonight at Phoenix.
Hey, Cody, it's Brandon up in the booth. How you doing?
Good, man. How you guys doing?
Pretty good, man. Well, you unfortunately didn't get the interview with us last night after your pole award, but you had to make up for it tonight and come out with another one, bud. But we talk about how good you are at short tracks. How are you feeling about this race tonight at Phoenix?
Actually not too great. We've run a handful of practice laps, and in the practice laps we have one where you haven't really felt really good about our long run speed. I think our short run speed's there, kind of like what we see every week. We're really good at knocking off about 5 laps, but it seems like after about 10, we really lose the front end. So just anxious to see how this goes, man, and gonna see if we can't stay up front and have a good finish.
Well, we'll definitely be keeping an eye on that 62 tonight. So hopefully you can keep the front end on that thing and maybe pick up some more stage wins and bonus points. And we'll talk to you at some point throughout this thing.
For sure, man. Thank you.
All right, that was Cody McCauley, your Sheffield Graphics pole winner here tonight. So he'll start from that front row. Already a little bit worried about the long run pace. We'll have to see how that all plays out. Remember, stage caution at lap 45 here tonight. 160 laps here at the Phoenix Raceway as Cody McCauley will get ready to bring us to the green flag. There it is, green flag in the air for the initial start tonight here for the RSR Cup Series as we head down to turn 1.
Well, these initial starts here, you got to be really patient with guys checking up a little bit early getting into turn 1, but did a good job of it this time by.
Tell you what, who lost out there was the 81 John Willett there, losing a position to Travis Everett. There is Dylan Reed. Actually, that's a Ryan Bean, sorry, the 25 trying to work to the bottom lane of John Willett there. Alpha 4 with Dylan Reed directly behind. So, Elite Racing Group with 3 cars here in the top 5 to start tonight.
Yellow.
Caution. First one, caution in here tonight, brought to you by Or Nissan Central. Looks like Adam Buzzio is backwards here on the front straightaway in this 55. And I believe that may have been a cell spin here as we'll go back on the freaky fast replay. Check out exactly what happened here as we head through 3 and 4 here riding along. You can see, the 55 just broke loose on the exit. And I tell you what, these things look like they're going to be a handful on cold tires, Kylie.
Yeah, absolutely. It's something, we talked about the oversteer on exit, and especially turn 4, though. It's getting back to the gas just a little bit too soon. The exit's pretty deceptive because it looks like you're just going to hit the wall and you feel like you've got to put so much extra wheel into it. Really easy to step out, especially if you get back to the gas just a little bit too soon.
Tough racetrack. And I tell you what's tough is the 78 of Kevin Sabilla taking a heavy lick to the 55 of Adam Buzzio there after that incident. So, man, that was a unfortunate hit there for 78, and he's going to have major damage here to start off the night.
Man, he's had some pretty rough luck as of late in that 78 machine, hasn't he?
He really has. Yeah, it seems like he can never get away from that little bit of trouble, so it's unfortunate for him, but going to start off another night here rough at the Phoenix Raceway for that 78 of Kevin Sabilla. So he's going to be sitting on pit road here getting that car fixed up for a while, I believe, with some engine trouble. Well, Cody McCauley don't have to worry about long run pace if you get a caution, right?
Yeah, I mean, if all you're going to have is little short sprints between cautions, long run pace isn't going to be much of a factor. But, got to hope for the best that, early caution kind of scare guys into settling down a little bit, especially seeing somebody like the 78 of Kevin Sabilla have their night essentially ended in that early incident.
Oh, man, I'm getting a report out here in chat that from Michael Martino. He says, let's go Jetsman racing. First, we'll get that out there. But he says he's having some internet issues tonight, so no Kool-Aid Man tonight. The walls are safe.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that's a big old no.
I know Zach is especially sad about that. He loves that Kool-Aid car.
The Kool-Aid car is a fan favorite of the Kool-Aid car. It's definitely up there in my books, Brandon. Definitely up there, my friend is. Looks like we've started to get double foul, but we won't be going green this time by. It should be the next time by here, as got a little caution to start the event. And I tell you, we've seen it in the ARCA race earlier. I think we had 7 cautions. I mean, this place is known to tear up race cars.
Yeah, the cars, it's generally right on the knife's edge of being under control here, just how flat and fast, especially 3 and 4. But the way that the balance changes so dramatically between the entrance of turn 1 and the exit of turn 2, you're always having to be really on top of the wheel, and you can't really relax very much at any point in the race because the car can just step out at a moment's notice. And you've got to be mindful that your car will do that, but also all the cars around you. You've got to be so patient and just really take in everything around you. At the end of these long races at Phoenix, you're going to be mentally exhausted more than physically.
Yeah, mental is a huge issue here, man. Tempers can flare at this racetrack. This place is one I've known to. And I tell you what, that sun shining over that back straightaway, I might need to go grab some glasses, guys.
I tell you, I think it'd be really cool if at some point in the near future, iRacing can give us those tinted visors in the car, so we could throw them on for races like this. I think that'd be a nice little touch. I'm sure it's not very
Right?
high on their priority list, but it'd be cool nonetheless.
Or we can tint the tear offs for our
Yeah.
helmets, virtual helmets. There we go. Yeah. It's like, oh, pace car in. We're going back green flag racing already. Cody McCauley wasted no time. That pace car got in and he took off. And look at the lead he's already built there. As I think that's going to let Ryan Bean get to the inside of Travis Everett here and let Cody McCauley build that gap.
Yeah, Ryan Bean in 25 been kind of quiet since Daytona. We know he's a really good plate racer. But out here at the short track now, showing the opposite end of the spectrum, taking the second position now from Travis Everett, who we know is fast each and every week.
Yes, we do. Top 5 points man Trevor Massetti in the 88 back here battling. He's back in the 18th position. A little bit of bumping going on back here. The 38 James Courtland slid sideways. I do not see the caution. All the caution must be down here in the entry of turn 1. See who that exactly is. Looks like some damage here, but the 54 Anthony Hughes sent around, but some damage to the front of another race car. Could not exactly see who that was.
I think that may have been Dustin Stallings. Could
Does
be
he
wrong.
not have a front end?
I will have to look and see.
As I know here, as we go back on the freaky fast replay here, you'll see exactly what happened here as we ride down the front straightaway. Oh, definitely just a heavy hit to the back of the 54 Anthony Hughes. That sends him sliding into the corner down here in 1 and 2. And looks like that was Steven Baldwin there who got into the back of him in that 59. So the field driver there getting a little bit of contact to the 54.
Yeah, it looked like there were 2 incidents that happened at the time of that caution. Dustin Stallings got to the back of the 38 of James Cortron just ahead of them. The 38 was able to save that car, whereas incident in the back, not so much, not quite able to save that.
Second or Nissan Central caution here tonight through our first 10 laps. So I'm telling you, this race could be an attrition race. You're going to have to survive this race. I think there's going to be a lot of bent up fenders, not only fenders, but also feelings after tonight, because I'm telling you, I've witnessed races here. This can be one of the tracks that it tears up stuff the most, man. It's just one of those places. I don't know what it is about it. I guess it's a short track feel, but with super speedway racing almost.
Yeah, I mean, flat track at high speeds, a lot of things can happen. The slightest contact with the minimal banking you've got here, you can go around in a hurry. We've seen it so far here with the self spin and then just a little bit of contact, and it's pretty aggressive on the car stepping out.
At the moment, still got Cody McCauley leading, but I tell you who's used these quick little starts and goes is Ryan Bean in the 25. He's worked his way up 3 positions from 5th to 2nd. He's going to restart in the outside lane on this next start. I don't think that's where you're going to start. I think we're going to see that all night is, you're going to want to start in that bottom lane here, these initial takeoffs.
Yeah, and we saw it in the ARCA race not too long ago that the second place car on the restarts, if they can keep clear of the car in 3rd position, then they've got a really good shot at it. But a lot of times they stay about even, and you just give up so much time having to take that higher line through 1 and 2, and spend a lot of time battling just to try to keep your position.
At the moment, pacing around the Phoenix Raceway here live on Freak Fast Broadcasting. Thank you all for tuning in, as always, and letting us have some fun out here on our Tuesday nights. We got we got Harold Watkins out there rooting on his Stealth Motorsports teammates. He says, "Sucks having the missed race." Yeah, it sucks not having you out there, Harold. But I tell you what, Christopher Smurl out there doing a great job filling in for you here tonight in that 014 car out there in the 10th position right now. They're doing a great job filling in.
Yeah, making good use of his practice that he got in the ARCA race, just coming up short there. I'm sure he's looking to get towards the front here at the end of this thing and maybe get one position better for the Cup race, and that'd be a pretty good way to start your drive in the Cup Series, filling in for somebody and coming out and getting a win.
Oh, that would be something, man.
Bowman almost did
so
it.
interesting. Yeah, no, that's very true. At this same track too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's it could be that way. Very well could play out that way, my friend. Is pace car is going to pull in this time. Cody McCauley is going to lead us back to the green flag, and I tell you what, if it was anything from last time, he's going to take off. There he goes, green flag in the air as Cody McCauley takes off here as the field behind him tries to get all single filed out here as they race 2x2 down to turn 1.
And Dylan Reed in that 4th position, it was looking like he was wanting to take it 3 wide around the outside of Ryan Bean there. Thought better, but now he's looking to go 3 wide on the inside. Travis Everett here. Oh, it's close.
3 wide down here into 3 and 4. He's going to use the Kevin Hart line. Dylan Reed, what a pass from 4th to 2nd through one corner. The 131, he's out for blood tonight.
Ryan Bean looking to maybe make a move on the inside. They're not quite, had to stab the brakes to avoid getting into the left rear of that 131, but still holds on to 3rd place here. Man, right off the restart, these guys are getting after it. And I think that's kind of going to be kind of indicative of what we're going to see the rest of the night. The restarts here are so important.
Oh, man, restarts battling at this racetrack is one of the toughest places because you can race side by side here, and it gets really tough, especially with people checking up for people in front of them. Make sure they don't run the back of them. You can get some really big checkups and some cautions that just lead to checking up. So it's one of them racetracks, man. But I tell you what, there's a heck of a battle going on back here for about the 20th position right now with Daniel Gonzalez. He's got Trevor Massetti in the 88 here. You got Nathan Campbell, the 12 of Craig Burns there. All these drivers in this little pack back here around the 20th to 18th position racing.
Big move from Trevor Massetti and then Bob Fitzpatrick trying to follow suit there. Big move diving to the inside for the 88 there. Had to roll out of it. Looked like he got in a little bit too hot, but left the door open for Daniel Gonzalez to try to contend for the inside again, going to 3.
Yeah, great side-by-side racing going all around this racetrack at the moment. Daniel Gonzalez in the 84. He goes around off of the exit of 4, and we're going to have our 3rd or Nissan Central caution here of the night.
That's a great job by the 84 to lock that down and not get into the fence. That a lot of times once you lose it out of 4, you're just going to hit the fence. So heads up there to immediately recognize what was going on and not try to drive out of that.
Yeah, pretty heads-up move there. Really not much damage. Even though he touched the wall, not really anything damage-wise. So see here on the Freaky Fast replay, exactly what happened here is this battle between the 88 and the 84 here. Off of 4, you can see the 84 just loses the rear end. And I think that's going to be a common theme of something we see here tonight is turn 4, flat as it is super slick on the exit.
Absolutely, and especially when you're trying to battle to the inside of somebody like that, you're just trying to keep so much wheel into it to make sure you give them as much room as possible, knock them up, hit them in the door, possibly pinch them into the wall there, and trying to just get back to the gas to make sure you don't give up the run, and maintain your position for the entry to turn 1, which the inside line is preferred there. It's really easy, and I saw it a couple times out of the 84, but unfortunately that time he just could not quite drive out of it.
Yeah, this place is sometimes like a slip and slide out there of a 4. It gets greasy out here, and it's even going into the night, it's still going to be really slick.
Yeah, it's kind of weird because the track will have more grip, but the fact that you're able to kind of drive harder because it's got more grip, you're even more on that edge. And we talked about these cars being really prone to that snap loose condition. Trying to put that much wheel into it with that much grip, it's still super easy to do, even though you'd think, okay, the track's cooler, tires are going to be cooler, more grip, and I should be able to get back onto the throttle harder. But it's kind of deceptive in the way that the temperature plays into the track, and it changes the car, in a way that you really wouldn't think that it would.
Yeah, the changing of the conditions is a huge factor to this racetrack. And like you were saying, you were alluding to the cold, yeah, we're going to get more grip. But like you said, also, we get faster. So that just, it pushes everything to another level. The grip level does go, but I feel like that grip, like ledge, we'll call it the grip ledge. I'll make this up here. This is a new term here, okay? The grip ledge, as you can go to that limit of the grip, but you got a little bit of space to push over and a little bit of space under it to put, come back and forth on. But if you go over that point at nighttime, it's a lot harder, in my opinion, to catch it. It's a lot thinner of a ledge.
Absolutely, and it's something that I've talked about before. I know some people may disagree with me for this, but just in my personal experience, that feeling that you get with this current Cup package of when that car is really leaning on that right rear, letting you know where the edge of the grip level is, it's a lot harder to feel with this car. And when it snaps, it snaps. You've just got a split second to catch it, to be able to really drive out of it, or have to really back out of the throttle and try to save the car, or maybe lock the brakes down like we saw out of the 84 of Daniel Gonzalez. And you've got a split second to make that decision of which one you're going to go for, and sometimes you're going to choose wrong.
Well, looks like the pace car lights are out this time. So we're going to go back green flag racing here after 3 early cautions here at the RSR Cup Series at the Phoenix Raceway. We're nearing lap 45 for stage number 1. That's going to be the critical point here to see who can pull off that stage. I think McCauley doesn't have to worry about as much as short run speed here as he's going to need to for this first stage.
It's not looking like it, especially nearing the stage break here. Going to be able to put on some new tires and refuel that car. And I'm kind of wondering what the limit for the fuel is. These cautions, they should be able to make it to the end of the stage. But if we get a green flag run for the second stage, I wonder if they can make it all the way.
We'll have to see. Pace car in. Cody McCauley again. Shot out of a cannon. He is taking no mercy on the restarts there with some great restarts and getting a good sized gap here as Ryan Bean now to the inside of Dylan Reed. Can Reed fight back around the outside here to retake that second position? Looks like he will as they go through the dog leg. Dylan Reed going to clear the 25 of Ryan Bean, move himself up to the second position. I tell you what, I just seen maybe a little chink in the armor here as McCauley had his first personally little mistake up the racetrack there in the corner.
Yeah, it's such a fine line, when you're going around this place trying to nail your line each and every time. And the cautions disrupt your momentum so much, and we know how fast Dylan Reed is. And I think maybe Cody McCauley's looking in the mirror, seeing his teammate in the 131 slowly reeling him in here, maybe trying something different. It didn't quite work out.
Look at this battle back here. Looks like the 31 of Casey Kuntz here in the 60th position. He's got Kevin Ruff directly ahead of him, or actually Craig Burns and Kevin Ruff. He's got Trevor Massetti here fighting in that 88 here. He's a top 5 in points. Had some great runs throughout the season, but tonight just not starting off the best for this 88, and he's going to try to move himself up, but already lost 3 positions from where he started.
And it's really rough, trying to. Everybody has a specific line that you want to run, and when you're running around other people, it just throws you off a bit, and you miss your braking zones, your corner entry points, and it's not until everything is able to really get spread out during the course of a green flag run where you can kind of fall into where you're comfortable and start making up the time you can. And I think Trevor Massetti's just kind of in that camp right now with these amount of restarts we've had, keeping everybody bunched up.
Looking at Curtis Preston in the 29 machine, he's up to the 8th position from where he started, directly ahead of Nolan Potter there at 34. And these drivers all the front, really the front, I'd say 15, 16, all single file at the
Well, back here to the 13th position, 42 of Alex Rudolph, looking like the biggest mover right now, up 6 positions in that 13th spot. So he's made these cautions and restarts work to his advantage here, able to grab quite a handful of positions.
Yeah, doing a great job on that 42. We see him have some pretty good runs to show some speed. So let's see if he can work himself close to that top 10. Remember, lap 45, that's the pay window, as we're going to call it. So It's time to get those points now if you're right near that top 10. As the 42 has a big moment coming out of 4. And I tell you what, he looked straight at the inside wall there for a moment.
We got to stop talking about guys.
Yeah.
The last 2 times we talked about somebody, they almost ended up with a junked race car out here. So great job for the 42 Alex Rudolph to keep that one underneath him and not have that be much worse than it actually was.
That could have been devastating. Could have been very devastating, that's for sure. His teammates battling right now. You got GT Irizarry battling with Travis Everett for the 5th position, looking to get into that top 5. GT will make the pass. Bro, GT talked about how he was not a contender here at the Phoenix Raceway.
Yeah, and we heard it from Hunter Hayward as well. Oh, we got a caution.
And looks like our 4th caution of the season. Not to see exactly what happened here. I've yet to find. Possibly Chad looking for this race car. And oh, there it's up in the top of 1 and 2. Looks like Chad Biesinger, yes, in 23. So he's gonna go around in 1 and 2, and gonna bring out our 4th caution tonight. Brought to you by Warren Nissan Central. And look, a little bit of contact. I'm unsure which car that was directly behind. Looks like Daniel Gonzalez in 84 was the car that got into that 23.
Well, I'm wondering, Zach, if you take the chance now to come in and pit, try to gain some track position at the end of this stage here, because you're not going to wear the tires too much, and track position is seeming to be at a premium. There's not too many guys that are up that many positions. It's only 1 or 2 for the most part.
Oh, I'm not pitting until the stage is over. I think that's definitely the way you want to run this. It's tough to say, like, you don't want to come in and take tires, but you really want to save the set of tires you have. I mean, 4 sets of tires in the pits. Don't want to use, really, I don't even want to pit at the end of stage 1 and 2, and then hopefully, you have 2 left. And then you got to be pretty sparingly with those 2.
And I think that's a really good idea. Come in at the end of the stage. If you're, really worried about trying to conserve your tires, just get a good sense of how they're wearing, and then try to plan around that wear and figure out how you can use them for later in the race. And try to see, maybe if you're a little bit behind somebody or a little bit ahead of somebody on pace. And maybe you can prod around, ask some questions about tire wear from some guys. Just try to get a good idea of things that you're seeing people doing different and how it's affecting their tire wear, and make adjustments.
Under our 4th caution of this evening here at the Phoenix Raceway for the 5th round of the RSR Cup Series. It's been some great racing so far. A little bit of bumps and bruises out there on the racetrack, and I tell you, this is a place that produces that. So I have not been surprised there one bit at all. But I tell you what, one thing it's going to be a close battle, I think, all the way down to the end for this top 10 here.
I think so too. And looking at the broadcast, we're actually following the 14 at GT Irizarry around, and I want to give a shout out. He's got a new sponsor on the car tonight for Mustang Week. If you haven't heard of it, it's a Mustang car show in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, September of every year. This is their 20th year. GT was really excited to have them come aboard. And if you're in the Myrtle Beach area, it's September 16th through the 12th. Go ahead and head over there if you like Mustangs, older cars, or just like hanging out at car shows. And for any of the guys that are out in the chat right now, and we know they shared the link as well, so if you're coming over from that page, thank you very much. And anybody who wants to check it out, I'll be posting the link in Facebook chat.
Mustangs are cool. We're a big fan of cars here, so I'm sure GT's his name's GT, so
sure he is absolutely over the moon.
yeah. I'm sure with Mustang, he can drive his Ford Mustang here tonight. He's pretty happy about that. So looks like pace car's gonna pull in here We're going to bring it back. Green flag racing. There it is. Green flag back in the air. Cody McCauley taking back off. Another great restart from that. And as they head down to 1, Dylan Reed looks like he did a better job there to clear that 25 on entry, and he's going to be all over the back bumper possibly this 62 here. So great restart up front. Going to go single file for the first 7 cars.
I tell you, Zach, looking at it, I think Cody McCauley might be getting a little bit too predictable with his restarts. Because these guys have been able to start timing it very well, and as the leader, you get that advantage. You don't want to kind of negate it by doing the exact same thing over and over again, because it looks like just about when the pace car gets off the track, he's nailing the throttle every time, almost at the exact same spot.
Yeah, you can never get too predictable there, but I would imagine him to change it up here in a few. It's worked very well the last few, but this last one definitely was more timed, I felt like, by the other drivers out there. And that's just the cat and mouse game out there as a driver. Guys are out there trying to time everything when it comes to these restarts. And it's fun to see the differences of when people go and when people decide to go. It's just it's all about the leader's discretion.
Yeah, and there's some tracks where it works out really well, where you kind of want that, go on the leader. It allows things to get more spread out before you get to turn 1. And there's other tracks where you're like, man, I really wish this was, go on green, keep it a little bit more even. But I think Phoenix really lends itself very well to that, leader's discretion, go whenever the leader wants, and kind of, keep guys from being side by side going into turn 1 on a restart, where things can be really dangerous.
Oh yes, this place will it'll bust you up in a real quick minute. Trust me, it does not take kindly to mistakes. And as you can see here, pretty much single file for, I'd say, really the first 19 cars. The first battle right now, Dustin Stallings. Looks like in the 93 back here, battling Kevin Zabladil. And also the 38 James Courtrun back here in the 22nd position with the 38 car. So pretty much single filed out though for right now. And I would not be surprised to see us make it to the end of the stage here at lap 45.
Yeah, not too many laps to go now, and everybody's filed out like this. We still only have a handful of guys that have made more than 1 or 2 passes throughout the night. It seems like once things get settled in, the tires haven't really worn out too much, and then there's the caution.
Oh, it looks like our 5th Ford Nissan Central caution of the night here. And it looks like that is the 6 of Rusty Modesty sitting down in the middle of turn 1. And it looks like, I believe he had a little contact between him and Stephen Baldwin in that 059. And also Ryan Ezell involved a little bit too in the 5. A little bit of contact. So bringing our 5th caution of the night. And Rusty Modesty destroyed. Oh man, he destroyed the front end by hitting the inside of the pit wall on that 6. So unfortunate, heavy hit for a few of those guys. But the question is, you're going to have to listen to the radio here, Brandon, to see, is that the actual end of the stage, or do they plan on going back green?
This will be the end of the stage.
All right, so congrats to Cody McCauley here on that stage 1 victory. But I tell you what, he had a mirror full of that 131 here through the first portion of that stage.
Yeah, it's looking like so far this stage, Dylan Reed's looking to be the biggest competition. Ryan Bean's still hanging out pretty tough in that 3rd position. But, we haven't had that really long run yet to see how, the comers and goers, as you like to say, where guys are going to start falling off and where guys are going to start catching up. So anything could happen. Cody McCauley said he was really worried about his long run speed. Well, we haven't seen him having to really worry about that yet to see exactly how bad he feels like it's going to be, if it actually is bad.
Yeah, it could make that's the interesting thing. It could make him feel better, but it also could make him worry more because they haven't got to the unknown yet that he's been worried about at the start of this race. So we'll have to see if his pace can continue if we do get a longer green flag run here. But I tell you what, he had a great first stage, and he is your stage 1 winner. So we'll go ahead and bring him down here and let him have a chat here with Brandon Colley on this initial stage 1 here tonight at the RSR Cup Series. Here's Cody McCauley.
Hey, Cody's Brandon up in the booth. How you doing, bud?
Good, man. Hanging out.
Yeah, see that couple cautions this stage here. Really didn't get to see if you're concerned about your long run pace was going to be, all that much to pay attention to here. But from the runs you guys have done so far, how are you feeling about the balance of the car? Because it looks like you may be struggling a little bit where your teammates kind of figured something out.
Yeah, we're having a hard time with tight center, loose out. We played with a bunch of brake bias there. It seems like we found a little bit of a medium. We got to get better as a driver in turns 3 and 4. We can get turns 3 and 4. I think we might have something for Dylan, but no questions asked. He's gonna be the guy to beat tonight.
Well, we were entertained greatly by y'all's battle last week. So if y'all can continue that this week, either way, if you win or he wins, you guys are the cars to beat, then it'll be a really fun finish for this thing. So we're looking forward to it.
Absolutely, man. Dylan's a great driver, and he's a guy you can really get door to door with and get after it. So look forward to it. We're gonna have a lot of fun. Old John's up here hunting it down with us too. So should be a good race. Hopefully, Elite Racing Group can get up here and see if we can sweep the top 3.
Well, we'll be paying real close attention to you guys and let you get back to the racing here, and maybe we'll talk to you for stage 2 at the end of this thing, bud.
For sure, bud. Appreciate it.
All right, that was Cody McCauley, your stage 1 winner here tonight at the RSR Cup Series. What a stage 1 it was there so far. A lot of bumps and bruises, as I would say. And I tell you what, a lot of cars still left in this, though. You get 5 cautions. Sometimes you start to take out a few cars. But really, only 2 guys here tonight have had major, major issues, and that's Adam Buzzio and David Hall.
Yeah, quite a few cautions, but nothing super severe, and it's kept quite a lot of guys into it, so still a lot of things can happen.
Pace car in this time. Travis Everett, new leader, going to lead us back to the green. He takes off. Great restart from the 59 there as he builds a gap. Looks like John Willett there going to try to stick the nose in there for the 2nd position and possibly move himself forward.
Now, looking at it, Zach, I saw that Travis Everett was able to take the lead after that cycle of pit stops there for the stage. His pit time was 7.6 seconds. I'm wondering if maybe he only took right side tires.
That's very possible. Right now, as Cody McCauley's going to go to the inside here for the lead and try to get that back from the 59 Travis Everett as we have a 6th caution of the night here on lap 45. I'll have to check out exactly what happened.
I think that was the 31 at Casey Kuntz.
Oh no, 31 at Casey Kuntz. Yes, no front end on the front of that 31 here. That's going to bring our 6th Warren Nissan Central caution of the night. And similar thing that we've seen earlier from most of these cars is breaking loose out of 4 here as we go back to the replay to show y'all exactly what happened here at home. You'll see the 31 here coming off of 4, and that thing just breaks sideways. And man, oh man, losing the rear end, and that inside wall has took a beating so far.
Well, if we get many more guys that hit it, they might knock it back a little bit, give them a little bit more room to save it. So we'll have to keep an eye on that throughout the rest of the race. But the inside wall on the front straightaway here at Phoenix, man, it's unforgiving.
Yeah, it definitely is very, very unforgiving. Safer barrier, but I tell you what, that safer barrier will still crunch a fender or 2.
Yeah, it's it's claimed quite a number of them.
Yeah, and I tell you what, Kevin Sabilla is the first one to lose a front end here tonight in that 78. He's done a good job though now as his brother Casey Kuntz here now. It was like family members with both of the cars looking like modified. So as they come down pit road here, they're missing front ends, and so is Rusty Modesty. So we got 3 cars out here at the moment missing front ends. But I tell you what, they're really not too much off pace without the front end. So that's good to see, at least for them.
Sorry, listening to some radio chatter, guys ribbing each other a little bit as David Hall comes around to take his wave around, or well, his lucky dog, I should say.
Lucky dog, David Hall. That's what we want to see. He's going to get back. I believe this will put him 4 laps down right now in the 36th position. So definitely still a good ways back, but better than he was 5. So hey, you're always happy to get 1 back, right?
Oh, absolutely. And looking like Rusty Modesty going to fall a lap down here, but the 78 and 31 should stay on the lead lap. Uh, get a couple more cautions. David Hall could very well be right back on the lead lap, and his car is definitely the least damaged of the cars that are a lap down right now, it looks like.
Yeah, he seems pretty clean, so should be decent speed still in that 21 machine. See how he can navigate his way back through the field. Maybe he can, there's going to be, I think, some more cars that run into trouble. I mean, I think that's an easy statement to say. So as long as he stays in it, stays clean, he could definitely get back some positions.
Oh, for sure. With a big field like this, there's a lot of opportunity for anything to happen. We've seen a number of self spins so far, just, not even anything that relating to contact, just handling issues with the car. So this many people, the odds of that happening even one more time is pretty big. So still a lot of potential here for guys to, possibly run into trouble and pick up some positions just by plucking at it and keeping the car on the track.
Big night here at the I almost said it again, ISM Raceway. So that's what they call it here on iRacing, but I like calling it Phoenix. So it's just tough. It's tough. You get stuck between using both names. But back to what I was saying about that is just shout out to Christopher Sparrow right now, 10th. He's called up to the Cup Series here tonight, and also 23rd for Stephen Balla. So both those drivers from the ARCA Series earlier here, all freaky fast. Both running decent right now. See what they can come together here tonight before the end of this thing. But we're getting ready to go back green flag racing. As the pace car lights are off, we are in 3 and 4. Cody McCauley back to the lead, and he takes off with another great restart in that 62. As Travis Everett going to try to hold on a second. He's going to cover off that bottom lane, but Brian Bean says cover it off, but I'm coming through.
Cue the Stuka dive bomber sound. Brian Bean licked the stamp on that one and just threw it on in there. And I've got to be paying attention to Travis Everett, the 59 right now. Looking like he either took half a tank and we've got another caution.
Oh, 7th caution of the night brought to you by Ornissan Central. And this is a big one back here, guys. This one had some definite big effect here on the field as well. To go back and see exactly where it all started. Oh, man, it started way up here. Still going through the carnage. I think it was between the 93 of Dustin Stallings and the 17 of Kevin Zabelda. Here's we'll go back on the replay. I believe we are focused on the 52 of Nathan Campbell here. As you can see, the 17 and the 93 getting into it. There comes the 52 of Nathan Campbell, nowhere to go. And from here, it's just carnage. There's multiple incidents after this. You see guys stacking up, hitting each other here, and incidents all galore here at the Phoenix Raceway.
Yeah, and you can see tempers flaring already. I was watching Nathan Campbell as he joined the modified club out here at Phoenix tonight and pulled into his pit stall to get some service done, and he was wiggling that wheel back and forth out of frustration. It's a tough break for the 52 out there tonight.
Yeah, it's been tough for a lot of these drivers out here. I mean, I'm sure this is the thing. You think cautions should be like, okay, guys, we need to calm down. Just a little bit of mistakes here and there. I mean, a few of them, like I said, just been little self spins that are, easy to do. Simple mistakes. So some of that's just going to happen. That's just the thing. But you would think it calms the drivers down, saying they need to back it down a little bit when you get these many cautions, but I feel like it does the opposite. I feel like it's always done the opposite, as I think it ramps it up more where guys get like we said, eye pacing. You get tired of driving around in caution laps, and I feel like your urgency level starts to rise because you're saying, I'm not going anywhere. I've been in 10th for 40 laps now because we haven't, got enough green flag laps where I can make my moves. And it gets to the point where you get guys getting moves out of desperation. And I tell you what, we're only in stage 2 right now, but it could definitely start to build, more frustration out here on this racetrack. It's Phoenix. Like I said, there's going to be bent fenders and definitely bent feelings.
Absolutely. And the more cautions you have, like you said, if you're just riding around here pacing like this, you're trying to make any pass you can on the restart because you have to believe you're just going to get another caution with the trends that the race has followed so far. So you're just pushing as hard as you can on the restart. We saw, Ryan Bean make the aggressive move to the inside going into turn one. Too many guys doing that, and you're just going to run into more problems, have more cautions. Just kind of a snowball effect. And it could go on until the end of the race, but eventually it takes out enough cars that there's nobody left to do that. So eventually it sorts itself out. It's just a matter of how long either guys decide to, take it a lot easier, or enough guys are wrecked out that there's nobody left to wreck.
Well, pace car lights are off. We're going to be 1 to green here as we're under our 7th caution of the evening. There you go, back green flag racing with Cody McCauley leading the way. You got Ryan Bean in 2nd, Dylan Reed in the 3rd position, Travis Everett there in 4th, John Ouellette in 5th, and 6th place car of Curtis Preston. And whatever Everett did there, I'm not sure what he did on his stop, Brandon, but it could play off for him pretty well because of all these caution laps.
And he may have not taken any tires and just opted to fill up on fuel. They only had the 57% fuel load, so I could imagine that's about 7 seconds.
It's pretty smart.
Yeah, that save a set of tires, and he hasn't lost much position doing it as they go back to green.
Back green flag racing. Cody McCauley will take off. I tell you, they're starting to get a little more checkups on those restarts with the guys trying to time it, and you're going to see a little bit more aggression, I think, here as we're on lap 55. Is Ryan Beans will close off 2nd, Dylan Reed to 3rd, Travis Everett holding on to 4th with John Ouellette in the 5th position.
Yeah, and I think, that's just what we talked about, that aggression level on the restarts, just trying to get the spots while you've got the opportunity to do so, and just trying to time the restart because he's not too far off where he's been doing it the whole race, but it's just slightly different, and guys are trying to time it, and eventually, somebody's going to run into the back of somebody else and going to have an incident from it.
Got a battle for that 6th position right now. Kevin Giadricic battling last season champion Curtis Preston. It's when now looks like Curtis Preston will make that move to get to that 6th position. GT Rosari now looking there in the 14 under the 9 as they work off of 4.
Dylan Reed very loose out of turn 4.
Oh, wow.
Looked like he tapped the wall a little bit, but great save out of the 131 of Dylan Reed.
Wow, that could have been race over. That was a huge save from that 131 as we have another caution here.
Looks like the 68 of Andrew Little over in turn 1.
For our 8th caution of the night, looks like Andrew Little in the 68 going to go around here. I believe that was a little bit of help from the 12 of Craig Burns.
A little bit of help there on that one.
Maybe a little exaggeration on the little bit part, but definitely some help there for 68 to go around here. So we'll check it out here on replay. This is exactly what happens. They're going down the 1. Here's the 68, Andrew Little. See Burns already into the back bumper. Got him loose here initially. He's trying to save it. And then another little boop. And that was the final boop that sent the 68 Andrew Little around.
Well, as we're riding around under this caution, I want to thank everybody for tuning in, watching us tonight, seeing all you guys out in chat on Facebook. Kylie rooting on the 93, Hunter Whitaker saying let's go Stallings, 93 to the front. Brad Worley out there, thanks for joining us. Stuart Earp, thanking us for the shout out from Mustang Weekly. Absolutely our pleasure. And Logan Preston rooting on Curtis Preston in the 29.
Yep, got some great fans out there. Like we said, thank you all for tuning in. Make sure you go check out our Facebook page at Freaky Fast Broadcasting there. Give us a like. Hit our YouTube page up to Freaky Fast Broadcasting. Give us a subscription. Give us a like, a follow. Hit the notification bell so you can be notified when we go live. You also check out our website, which is in the description, where you can find live timing and scoring. Also in the description down there too in the link. You can find all types of stuff on the Freaky Fast website. You can also find our merch store. We'll get you some Freaky Fast merch, and you could be looking like a cool kid yourself.
Yeah, what Zach said. Okay,
uh,
look, Court Rowan's, and let's go 38.
yes, James Courtrow out there right now in the 15th position in that 38. Rookie this season to the Cup Series. Started in 12th, so has dropped back 3 positions, but he's been right in the mix of this battle right here in the Hornets' nest, I think, this whole race.
Yeah, a little bit of damage on that 38, but all things considered, for the amount of cautions that we've seen so far, I'll be taking that amount of damage.
Yeah, I'm that's for sure. And I tell you what, Dylan Reed, I'm surprised they didn't come change fire suits for him because man, he had a moment and a half, guys. I'm telling you, he was just pointing 90 degrees towards the wall and literally completely brought that thing back to life.
Yeah, I just happened. I was following a battle right behind him, and I just happened to look up and saw that car way out of shape, and looked like he just caught the outside wall with the right rear there. So no, not really bad damage, but could have been a whole lot worse, especially running what was that, second position at the time. Definitely not where you want to wreck out of.
That was save and a half, that's for sure. And I tell you what, he's lucky to be sitting in fifth still, so I'm sure he'll take that. As I believe he should be six. Yeah, I think he just was ahead of Curtis Preston that last time he was scoring loop. But we'll Gary go back green flag racing here at the RSR Cup Series. As we're under our 8th caution of the night here. Brought to you by Ord Nissan Central. As Cody McCauley has been out front this whole entire time in the 62. Going to keep the lead other than Travis Everett getting it through pit stops. So we'll have to see what happens here is the pace car should pull in this time and let these gentlemen go back to work out here on the racetrack. Cody McCauley takes off, shot out of a cannon, green flags in the air as we head down to turn 1. Looks like Bean gonna cover off that inside from Travis Everett, the 59. Here's we continue on here for lap 62.
I gotta tell you, this has worked out so well for Travis Everett so far. These cautions, being on the older tires and still only being in the 3rd position. He's not really been that worse for wear on the older tires.
Yeah, you know, it's definitely played out in his advantage, man. I think it was a pretty smart call. Yeah, it was a no tire change, just fuel. Just went back to confirm that. So no tire change for that 59. And you know, I think that's just all the caution laps we've had. These tires are super cool, and the air pressures are probably nice and low. And, you know, you hadn't built a bunch of air pressure up in the tires from the last run, so it's I think that's the best call we've seen probably all night so far.
Yeah, and you know, we may be getting to a point where we should be seeing some long runs now. And we'll know, I think, once we hit that point where we're getting a long run, because Travis Everett will start losing positions pretty quickly. But I think in the long run, just saving that extra set of tires is the smart move here.
Oh, with the amount of cautions we've seen, by far the smartest move. But at the same time, we're not using tires as much as we probably would have if we'd had longer green runs. So it's definitely shaking out in interesting ways. You see Travis Everett there in 59 up ahead up here. Definitely slipping back now as Curtis Preston, his teammate, and Dylan Reed have got by. And next on that list will be John Welvette.
We'll have to look at the lap time difference here to see exactly how much off that 59 is on the pace with these older tires. Looks like this time by Cody McCauley with a 27.16 to Travis Everett's 27.41. So quite a bit off the pace now after these tires have finally got back up to 10.
Yeah, it's crazy to watch. You know, these tires go through like almost a rejuvenation period where they just get so good after a caution, and then all of a sudden you start to see the age of them again. They're like, oh, never mind, this is totally not a new set of tires. As man, the battle for 3rd is going crazy with the 131 of Dylan Reed trying to get by last season's champion Curtis Preston to move himself up to the top 3.
It's out here looking like some of them McDonald's spicy nuggets, man, and it might just burn you all the same. These guys are door to door, just about banging into each other coming out of one last time. It looks like Dylan Reed finally able to rebound up to third after his near spin.
Yeah, he is moving forward real quickly up to third now for Dylan Reed as we ride on board with Alex Rudolph here in the 10th position. Directly ahead of fill-in driver Christopher Smurl and Matthew Rush there in the 11th. So good to see him having a better run here tonight in that 11 as he was a playoff 4 last season.
Yeah, it's been kind of a down season so far for the 11. Just been kind of struggling to get back up to the top 10 and have really good finishes. But like you mentioned, Chris Sproul, he's been kind of hanging steady in the same position, but it's not really any due to his fault, anything to do with his fault. Just haven't had the runs to try to put together any late run speed here and really, take advantage of guys burning their stuff up.
Right now, single file pretty much through the front of this field at the moment. Actually, battle between Curtis Preston and John Willett trying to work around the outside. Curtis Preston must have had a moment between them because he's behind Travis Everett now, too.
Yeah, he had a big moment. I just happened to be flicking back up toward the top of the field and saw him all the way down by the inside wall in the front stretch here. So I think he got really snappy loose coming out of turn 4 last time by.
Very snappy loose there for that 29. He was able to get it back going. But I tell you, Travis Everett, though, we got to give him. He's in 4th right now and hadn't changed tires yet throughout this whole entire 71 laps. That is so impressive. I tell you what, if it works out right for him, it could be the race winning call.
And honestly, last time by, he ran a quicker lap than second place Ryan Bean. I don't know if Ryan Bean maybe got out of line a little bit, but Travis Everett, I think he might actually end up having some pretty good long run pace here, being able to put down the speeds he's got now with these older tires. Even now, it's kind of even back out a little bit, where he's only roughly 2/10 off of what the leaders. It's a slight improvement from when they really got back up to temp and started falling off from the restart.
Well, we cannot forget in recent memory, where was our last championship race at?
Right here at Phoenix.
Who had very good long run pace, that 59 of Travis Everett. Came up short, finished second to Curtis Preston. But I tell you what, Everett was the one all night that had the long run pace. So I tell you what, I think that's transferring over. And we can see that 59 being in a great position. I mean, right now we're running 27.64 to the leaders, 27.55, and the leaders changed tires at lap 40.
Yeah, it's telling me that these tires, they stay alive pretty long into the run here, even once they get up to temp. That gradual fall off period, it was just due to the fact that they were so much older, but they've kind of evened out now. I think it might be an effect of, maybe Cody McCauley pushing a little bit too hard. He's finally getting to the point where he's going to have to see his long run pace now. I think Ryan Bean's kind of in the same boat. Dylan Reed now starting to make a charge. He's right on the back bumper of that 25, and looks like he's going to overtake for that second position going into 1.
Yes, we had a position change for second to Dylan Reed here in the 131 past Ryan Bean. Also, you have John Willett getting by Travis Everett there to move himself to 4th in the 81. So great moving around here at this early portion of stage 2.
Well, we're finally starting to see some guys that are putting together more than just a handful of positions. We got Alex Rudolph up here to 10th, right now up 9 positions. Stephen Baldwin in that 059 up 10 positions to 21st. Chad Biesinger up 12 positions in the 23 to 23rd position. And for the most part through the top 10, there's only a couple guys that have really changed positions. It looks like Curtis Preston, the biggest of those, up 4 positions, sitting in 6th right now.
Yeah, Curtis Preston, he won the race here last season to win the championship. We can't forget about that. So the guy's got speed here at the Phoenix Raceway. Looks like he's going to go to the inside. Travis Everett here now. You also got teammate GT8 Irizarry not too far behind. And then 9 of Kevin Jadrosich all battling here for this 5th top 5 position right now. Is Curtis Preston backed by teammate Travis Everett. I think this is where you're going to see the tires definitely start to come into more and more of effect the longer they go. But I tell you what, that's still super impressive, the laps he was running on the old tires.
Yeah, and still only back to the 7th position right now. Looking like he's going to lose another spot to the 9 of Kevin Jadrosich here. But the stage is not too far away. So he still could hang on here to a top 10. Looks like maybe just fall outside of that top 10. But still, having that extra set towards the end, especially now that we seem like everything's kind of calmed down, we're into that stage where we're going to get those long runs. We'll have to see if it changes with the stage caution. If we just kind of reset and go back to the trend that we were having so far in this race. But the second half could prove to be really up in the air with this extra set. If we get a late caution, he may be able to put him to good use.
And I tell you what, right now, leader Cody McCauley, he has no rear tires left. And they're going to be coming to 10 to go this time by here on lap 80 for stage 1. That 131 of Dylan Reed, charging. I really think he's going to run him down here before the end of this. I'm just watching Cody McCauley. He's just so sideways on entry.
And I think, you know, he talked about he's moving the brake bias around, and I think that's just a product of too much rear brake and trying to charge the corner too much. We've seen it in past broadcasts, and then in past experience I have with league racing at these types of tracks, where guys will try something with you know, a pretty aggressive brake bias just to try to gain an advantage, and it's super good on the short run, but middle of the run to the late run, you are just gonna struggle. And I've noticed through 3 and 4 especially right now that Dylan Reed is able to kind of pinch the entry off, sweep out a lot wider, get the car slower, and then get a really nice run out, where Cody McCauley's really having to put a lot of wheel into it to get off the corner, and that's definitely hurting his rears even more.
I tell you what, these guys, if you didn't think they were driving, these guys are dead sideways. Even Reed, for how smooth and good he's looking, he is on the edge of the grip level. This guy's dancing with the right rear right now, as they pretty much matched lap times there. But McCauley, every time he goes down to 1, it's just the yaw of his car. That right rear is always out farther than that right front.
And Josh Holmes on Facebook saying, "Can confirm Cody has no rear tires."
Yeah, I like just watching. I could just see, you know, like just the rear tires on that 62 are gone. And I mean, that's just kind of how you gotta drive this car personally at the moment with the way the setup is he misses turn 1 there. This is gonna let Reed get really close here, and he's gonna close down to within 4 car lengths.
Yeah, and it's a tough spot to be in because the car is so loose going into the corner from your rear brake bias. Just, you know, really wanting to step out the right rear to help the thing rotate in. It works really well for turn 1 just because of the way the corner is configured. But over time, you know, if you just miss your braking point by a little bit, you're going to go in just hot enough that the rear is going to have no grip, and it just kind of snowballs itself. The more you use that rear, it's just every corner gets worse and worse, lap after lap after lap, until you're just trying not even to run quick, you're just trying not to wreck.
Yeah, and at the moment, Ryan Bean, quickest car on the racetrack in that 25, only driver in the 27s out here, as that time of 28:02. And I tell you what, that was a lot of time gain for McCauley last time by. He had a great 1 and 2, was able to compose that together with 5 to go here. Oh, and there is the caution side. I think that may bring it into stage number 2.
You may be right. That will be.
Wow, man. So, see exactly where that caution went. Do you see what car, Collie? Oh,
I'm not sure.
Looks like Dustin Stallings in the 93. A little bit of contact there from him. Looks like, oh, the 93 was actually the one behind that. So it was the 059 of Stephen Baldwin. So the fill-in driver here tonight, or the tryout, I must say, for Clutch Motorsports, Stephen Baldwin involved in that yellow. Don't believe we were triggered by that yellow, so we won't be able to get that replay there for everybody. But yeah, Stephen Baldwin going around there. And can you confirm if is this the stage end too, Brandon?
This is the stage end.
Okay, so stage 2 has come to a close. And after this pit stop here, we'll talk to Cody McCauley, and you'll get to ask him about how bad those rears were, Brandon.
Oh, I absolutely will. And I got to point out, Travis Everett coming home 8th for the stage after not taking tires. So far this race,
Win.
he's
That's
still
a
on his
win.
original set of tires.
That I don't think he could have asked for better, personally.
Yeah, I don't think so either. That was that played out exactly how he needed it to.
Well, that's gonna be fun to watch. The only thing is that hurts him. I feel like is not a lot of people doing that strategy to where now when he goes to do that strategy, not a lot of guys are going to pit. He's going to need this race to go green and get some lap cars out there to make his charge to the front a lot less.
Yeah, he's really got to hope now that these guys, keep going with the run that they just put on. If they can do that, then this will work out really well for him.
Well, Cody McCauley wins the race back off pit road, and we'll get a chat and hit. We're here with him. See what his thoughts are on winning stage number 2 here tonight, the RSR Cup Series. Here is Cody McCauley.
Hey, Cody, it's Brandon up in the booth.
Hey, bud.
Well, able to get that second stage win. Look like you were really starting to struggle with that long run pace you were talking about there with the rear of the tires. It looked like, especially in turn 1, what's going on with the car right now?
Just hard finding a rhythm, man. Racetrack's getting really slick. Sun's kind of gone down, so a lot of things are changing. We're moving the brake price around a lot, just trying to find a good line. We felt like we were able to settle in right there at the end of the run. Dylan made a good charge, but was able to hold him off. So we'll just we'll see how this goes. This one's gonna be a little different, having about a 70 lap run here to the end. So we'll see how it plays out.
Well, looking forward to it. You guys were able to string together a pretty nice run there before the end of the stage, and hopefully you can go the rest of this race here and put together a really long run here and see these varying strategies play out. But let you get back down to it and be paying attention to see if those brake bias changes benefit you any.
For sure. Thanks, guys.
All right, that was Cody McCauley, your stage number 2 winner here tonight from the RSR Cup Series from the Evolution Racing Leagues. Congrats to him. And I tell you what, that's just him stacking more bonus points to have a lead on that points. Because I tell you what, coming in here tonight, 28-point lead over that man in second place to him right now, Dylan Reed. And he's been stacking the bonus points is really what I've been noticing. 9 bonus points from last week, or from this full season. So doing a great job with bonus points, not only that, but also stage points.
Well, I got to point out before we go back to green here, Craig Burns in the 12 up to looks like the 7th position. Didn't take tires on this stop.
Oh, he pulled the Travis Everett strategy. We'll have to see how that plays out for Craig Burns here. His pace car's in. Cody McCauley takes back off with a 25 Ryan Bean at third lane, trying to get to the bottom here, the 131. He'll dive to the inside here, side by side for second place. We also got Curtis Preston, John Willett battling as they come off the 2.
Yeah, big checkup on the inside there. We're just trying to give a bunch of room. Looked like Travis Everett was getting held up just a little bit. Finally making a pass on Craig Burns here with his fresh tires. Should be making a charge up to the front. GT making a really strong run to the inside of the 81 of John Willett there, looking to take the 5th position.
Looking at cracking to the top 5 is GT Irizarry in that 14 machine, trying to do his best to get up here. Also got Rudolph there in the 42. He's up to 8th now from that 19th position. Great move for him all night as these guys dive on the apron, go battling down the back straightaway here. Great stuff. And so the thing for Craig A. Burns, he stayed out there, Brandon. But we had a much longer green flag laps than that in that stage than we did the last stage.
And not only that, Zach, but there's no guaranteed caution that Travis Everett had with the end of the stage. So if they decide that they finally got it, figured out and where the handling is of these cars, they're able to go for a long green flag run and maybe a green flag pit stop. That 12 car is in a lot of trouble right now. Even towards the end of that run, we were getting pretty close to Cody McCauley running into lap traffic, catching the back of the field. And I would not imagine it's going to take very long if they decide to keep it green here, that Craig Burns is going to go a lap down.
Very possible. Very possible. We do have a caution here tonight for our 10th Warren Nissan Central caution. I believe that is David Hall in the 21, and I think we may have seen a deja vu moment for, I believe this would be our 3rd or 4th time here off of 4. Someone in the, losing it and hitting that inside wall here. bring out our 10th caution of this evening here at 21 at David Hall.
Yeah, we've talked about it quite a few times throughout the race tonight, just how easy that is to do. Even watching the leaders, just how much they're hanging it out, coming out of 4, just trying to get back on the throttle. It is, I would argue, it is the most challenging part of really any short track I think that we go to is the exit of turn 4 at Phoenix.
Yeah, the exit here is just so hard to make it work. Yeah, it's such a long corner where you're turning for so long. You think you got so much grip and it's turning, and you finally get on the gas, and all of a sudden, whoop, right around. Here on lap 91. Or actually, sorry, not lap 90, not lap 91.
Chris Berman.
You making fun of my Chris Berman?
Whoop.
And that's what happens. You ever heard the sound effect when you wreck off a turn 4? That's it. It's whoop. I think I got everybody up here laughing at me now. But under our 10th caution of the evening here at Phoenix, as Cody McCauley still hangs on the lead. I tell you what, McCauley hadn't had too much to worry about that long run pace, but I'm telling you what, he still looked pretty decent with that one longer run we got there. Everybody looked to be struggling, not only him.
Well, I think the biggest save that Cody McCauley had was the fact that it was a stage caution. I think with no guaranteed cautions, he's going to have a lot of problems during this long run to finish the end of the race if they cannot have these rash cautions that we've seen so far. I think if we would have been able to go to the end of the scheduled stage distance, I think Dylan Reed could have got there. He had another 5 or 6 laps, I believe, to get a chance to get back by his teammates. So we're gonna have to pay attention because we know Cody is struggling on the long run, but Dylan Reed, even with the problems he's had so far, he's looking really, really solid as the run goes on.
Yeah, he closed the gap. That was the big thing for me, is he closed the gap, but once he got within a distance, he started to slip and slide a little bit too. So it seems like almost where you go into phases where you heat the tire up and then you have to drive a couple laps slower and then you cool it back down and you can run fast again. And I think you're going to see this back and forth yo-yoing of this top positions here as if we get a long run. So I'm going to see how it works out. But I think the pace car lights are going to go out this time. Yes, they do. It won't be 1 to green, Brandon.
Yeah, and I think it's just kind of the product of racing here at Phoenix. It seems like every single race, the way the car handles changes, but the fact that track position is key does not. It's always seems to be the theme here every time we come to race. So, except for a handful of guys, that's pretty much been indicated by our timing up here with the gains and losses.
Well, looks like we're getting it all double filed, ready to go again here at the RSR Cup Series. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in here tonight for round number 5 of the RSR Cup Series here at the Phoenix Raceway. As the pace car will take the left turn off, and we will take off. Green flag in the air. Cody McCauley, shout out at Cannon again, but I tell you, Reed timed it well. Can he clear Bean? And I tell you, he was almost back to the outside of McCauley as we went down the one. It looks like he does clear Ryan Bean, and we will single file out here in the top 3 positions.
Well, GT in the 14 underneath his teammate Curtis Preston here, looking like he's going to try to make the move going into turn 3 to take over that 4th position.
Great battling back here around the 10th position here. You got Travis Everett sliding in front of Matthew Rush there for the 10th spot. And directly ahead of him, you got Kevin Jadrish's battling teammate Alex Rudolph. You got John Willett battling Curtis Preston there behind that. Bob Fitzpatrick is in this picture with Christopher Merle. Multiple drivers out here battling. James Courtroan for 14th on to 8th.
we got Bob Fitzpatrick in the 13th position. One of the few drivers who's been able to make a lot of passes tonight, up 9 positions as we get a caution.
11th caution of the evening, brought to you by Ortiz San Central. Looks like Marc-Andre Thibodeau in the 27 is going to go around here after a little bit of contact there between him and the 17 of Kevin Zabladil through 3 and 4. And then, oh, who is that? That is Kate. Oh, no, not Casey Coons. No. That is the 28 of Junior Miller, also involved in that, too. Just an innocent bystander. So, hard contact here on lap 11 for multiple cars.
Yeah, unfortunate for that 28. I believe that's at least the second incident he's been a part of tonight. Ooh, watching that back, yeah, the 17 just really rolling the entry quite a bit better, and looked like he tried to pull it down, and slight contact there. Guys getting frustrated, maybe just a little bit tired as well, as it's rolling in pretty late into the night here.
Yeah, no, that can have an effect. Later in the night, it gets some of these guys are probably on a weeknight here, starting to get a little bit more cranky. And this track here can he's pretty cranky too, I feel like. So looks like some guys faking some pit road, nobody electing to take it here, as I think that's the right call. With the amount of cautions we're getting, not really worth it, I feel like, to give a track position at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely, I don't think so, but on the other hand, you might be able to take advantage of these cautions and try to pit a little bit off sequence here and cycle to the front when everybody else decides they have to come into pit. And it could work out. You can gain quite a bit of track position, and we've shown that even on older tires, you're able to maintain ground pretty well, especially if you get these short runs between cautions.
Looks like here we have the lucky dog. That's going to be, it looks like 93 of Dustin Stallings. Yes, as he will get back on the lead lap. That 93, try to get himself back up in here into contention. As he crosses the start finish line now, back on the lead lap. But looking fourth there, Brandon. Man, the myth, the legend, GT Irizarry. Mr. I ain't good at Phoenix, but I still do well.
Yeah, I think he might have a little bit of extra motivation this week here with the new sponsor on the car. Definitely getting the airtime for him tonight. He's been in the picture. I don't think he's fallen back any farther than sixth tonight, just about where he started. So still, he's not good here, but I'll take finishing fourth. I know personally I'll take finishing top 5 here at Phoenix any day of the week.
Oh, I'm sure he'd be pretty ecstatic with a 5th place finisher or top 5 here, because he said this place just doesn't work out for him. And I tell you what, he has his best qualifying result of the season here at the track he doesn't like.
That's something we talked about. When you say it's a track you're not really good at, you spend a little bit of extra time, and I got to echo that that's absolutely true. It seems like the best results that I've been able to get is tracks that I'm like, man, I just, I'm not really good here, because the tracks that I am good at, I feel like I'm running really well and just end up getting caught in something or making a mistake and taking myself out of it.
Yeah, no, you can beat yourself or help yourself right before, that you come into a race. I mean, it's literally easy to just mentally go ahead and defeat yourself before you even get into a race. I used to always tell myself, don't ever think you're the favorite, because as soon as you think you're the favorite, you're gonna lighten up, make a mistake, and that's when you start, not being the favorite. You got to always be ready for someone out there to take your spot.
Yeah, and it shows that racing is as big of a mental game as anything. You got to be in that right mindset, and if you feel like you're not good at a track, you're going to be extra careful, and it really pays off when you're not trying to overdrive and take chances.
Oh, looks like pace lights are out. We're heading down to turn 3 and 4 here on lap 105 of 160 here at the Phoenix Raceway. And get ready to go back green flag racing, as it's been a tough time here in the last few restarts. Let's see if these guys can get shook out here as the pace car is going to pull in. Cody McCauley shout out another cannon there. Green Looks flag, like Reed, good enough start to be able to slide maybe possibly in front of that 25, but I think the 25 is going to slide in behind him there, as Dylan Reed does hold on the second, with Ryan Bean third. GT Irizarry all over, but I tell you what, Reed was shot out of cannon out of 2.
Yeah, Thought maybe Dylan Reed had left the. Ooh, we got a caution.
We have another caution on the lap, or caution number 12 brought to you by Or Nissan Central. Or Nissan Central, they're getting their money's worth here tonight.
Absolutely. This caution looks like the 68 of Andrew Little and the 2 is Zach Schritt coming out of turn 2.
Yeah, Matthew Rush involved in this also in the 11, I believe.
Oh, yeah, it started ahead of them.
Yes,
Yeah.
I believe it was the 11, right?
Yeah, I think the 11 just came down on the 88 of Trevor Massetti in the dogleg there, and that started. Then the checkup between that contact caused the 2 and the 68 to get together.
Yeah, like some contact entering that dog leg there, and then just heavy hit there for the 2 of Zach Schrittenthal and the 68 of Andrew Little.
Good heads up from the 38 of James Corcoran, the 112 of Kevin Ruff, and the 3 of Bob Fitzpatrick to get around that without any problems.
I'll tell you what, we had some strategy being played here. McCauley brought him down pit road along with Dylan Reed, the 25 of Travis Bean, Ryan Bean. Looks like Travis Everett here, Kevin Giadricic, they're going to elect to stay out here. Also, Bob Fitzpatrick, Kevin Ruff, Anthony Younes, Kip Easley, Nolan Potter, Chad Biesinger, Daniel Gonzalez, Casey Kuntz, Michael Sheffield, Greg Burns, Junior. I mean, a lot of cars staying out here. I mean, there's about 10 cars that stayed out this last time by. And I tell you what, that could shake some things up for a few of these guys that getting put back here on new tires.
Well, it looks like the leaders are going to cycle out to about 18th on the scoring now. See how much that changes when they come back across the line. Maybe reset some things. But, I mean, it works out for track position late when all the rest of these guys are going to have to pit. But you're in so much danger back here. We've seen the incidents. I mean, the cautions speak for themselves. This works out if you don't get into trouble. You've got to be so patient on these restarts here. You know, you're going to try to get as much as you can on the fresh tires, but don't put yourself in a position to not be able to finish the race.
Yeah, I think this helps Travis Everett too, because I was thinking back, his strategy is cool and all, but he would lose so much track position by being all sequence with a lot of guys that were all most of the field on sequence. But now with throwing these top 10 drivers here kind of off sequence with everybody, this could actually work out pretty well, in my opinion, for Travis Everett now, because he's got a good group of drivers that could come down with him when he uses that extra set.
Well, and looking at the pit times for these guys that have stayed out for the most part, they pit on lap 87. And we've gone a little over 20 laps since then, but we've had a good number of caution laps, so they're going to be able to save quite a bit of extra fuel. And even had they not, they still have another 20 laps roughly with this tank of fuel that they can go, so they're not going to have to pit for quite a while.
Yeah, it's going to be quite a while. I think the guys who just pitted, they should be good to go from here. It could be on the closer edge for the guys who just pitted. It's with the 50% fuel load, 50 to go here. With cautions, I think they'll be fine, but that's, like you said, it's banking on something you don't know is going to happen.
Yeah, I think that's the game plan for these leaders that pit this time by. They're going to bank on the caution laps to be able to save that extra bit of fuel to guarantee that they can make it on the end with this stop.
They're going to have to definitely hope for something to play out here. Is that pushed them all the way back to the 19th position. 18th and 19th is the first car on tires. Pace car is in this time, and we are back green flag racing here as Kevin Giadricic leads us back to green flag as our first car on tires back in the 18th position of the 131 of Dylan Reed.
Well, I'll tell you what, this really benefited the 54 of Anthony Younes, up 27 positions now.
Oh, no, caution. 25 of Ryan Bean, the 14th of GT Irizarry. Multiple cars that pitted there going around to bring out the caution. Even Alex Rudolph in the 42, and that's going to be our 13th caution of this evening here, brought to you by Or Nissan Central. And stuff happens quickly here in 1 and 2, and if you get yourself back in the pack back here, you can get caught up and stuff like that. It looks like a little bit of contact from the 059 Stephen Baldwin to the 25 of Ryan Bean, and then the 14 GTR is already there, nowhere to go, getting into the rear of Ryan Bean.
Yeah, unfortunately, just Alex Rudolph couldn't quite check up in time, but that all started really with the decision to go 3 wide into turn 1 there. Just kind of sandwiched with not a lot of space to go. And you've just got to be more patient than that. You know, you've got fresh tires, but you can't really, you got to anticipate that the guys in front of you are going to be quite a bit slower, and you're going to have to anticipate that early checkup. And taking it 3 wide like that, you kind of put yourself in a really vulnerable position. Just kind of let things settle down off of a restart a little bit more than that before you start making those moves.
Yeah, I mean, you see Dylan Reed also in the 31. I mean, he backed straight out. He made the decision, the opposite decision, and it played out, decent for him. He got through it. So, yeah, I know Ryan Bean was trying to be a little aggressive there, but I think that was, like you said, just a little bit too much.
Yeah, and that's if it doesn't end up in a wreck, it's a great move. But if it
Right.
does, then it's
Yeah.
like, why'd you do that? So it's just one of those racing deals. You make a choice, you stick with it, and sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay, Giadis is still hanging on to the lead. These guys are going to continue to stay out here. I wonder when their pit will be. It looks like Nolan Potter will be the first one to dip off in the 34 down the pit road, and he will be the lone man going to pit road here tonight.
I'm wondering if it's wiser, Zach, if you were some of these guys that have yet to come into pit, if you pit now or you just try to run it out as long as possible. Do you think that they could potentially get enough caution laps that they will be able to save enough fuel to make it to the end of this race?
The guys who are out there right now that stayed out?
Yes.
No.
You don't think so?
I just don't see you being able to go. 87 was when they pitted, so we'll say because they went green 90. We'll say 90 means you gotta go 70 laps. I mean, you're looking at 57% fuel load here tonight. I mean, Phoenix, the most you can do here at Phoenix, I would say, is around 100. So, I mean, it's in the ballpark. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, it's fathomable. It's possible. I try to say fathomable, but I can't really say it for some reason. So we'll just give over that. But it's in the realm of possibility that it could happen. But you'd have to be. I'm talking. You're out here rolling around. You're trying to save as much as you can, and I'm trying to listen to these guys here. Definitely in low RPM. I haven't heard any clutching or shutting off of the engines here. Looks like Bob Fitzpatrick is behind in the third position. Looks like everybody else kind of got it up to full beans right now. I mean, they are 1 to green, so a lot of guys don't save on that 1 to green lap, but you got to use everything you can here if you're going to try to make it from that far.
Yeah, I think if you're going to try that strategy, you have to have been planning for it already and saving incredibly under caution. Fourth gear, clutching it every chance you get. Just saving every little drop, every little bit you can. Just hoping that things fall your way, that you get enough laps that you can save.
Yeah, I think that was definitely, you'd have to be doing that pretty early. So pace car pulls in this time. Giadricic takes off in the 9, and we're back green flag racing with Kevin Giadricic leading us down to turn 1.
Well, Cody McCauley, pretty aggressive here, making some moves up to the 11th position now after his pit stop, but got quite a bit of traffic ahead of him.
A lot of racing around this racetrack here, side by side action. Look at Ryan, he's on the 5. He's back here battling with Trevor Massetti. There's got a 28, Curtis Preston. Lots of battles here. 81, John Willett back there. It's going down right now.
I got to give credit to the 31 at Casey Kuntz out here running a modified and still hanging on at 6th. Got pretty decent pace, all things considered.
Looks like the caution will come out for another time here. That looks like it'll be our 14th caution of this evening. I tell you what, this track is continuing to be a nuisance to these drivers out here, as I believe that time it was the 17, I believe, of Kevin Zabladil. Yes, it was. Looks like, yeah, a little bit of contact between him and the 13 and Tony Ludi. That sends the 17 around for our 14th caution of the night, brought to you by Or Nissan Central.
Yeah, it's just a lot of side-by-side racing back here in the pack, not really getting spread out all that well. And yeah, I think that was the 13. The 84 of Daniel Gonzalez made a really bold move to the inside going into one, and I think the 13 was just trying to give him room, and there wasn't quite enough room on the outside there. And unfortunate for the 17, got a little bit of contact, sent him around.
Looks like Kevin Ruff's going to hit pit road here. Looks like a bunch of drivers hit pit road here. So a lot of guys deciding this time now to come down. I like this. This could work out still for them, but I don't, you kind of just wasted what you were doing, because in my opinion, the other guys that, had just pitted, they have not used their tires up from these little runs.
Well, I think honestly, Zach, I'm going to agree with the guys that are pitting. I'm questioning the fact of Kevin Jadrosich, Bob Fitzpatrick, Craig Burns, and Travis Everett not coming into pit. They saw how quickly, in how many positions Cody McCauley was able to make up in Dylan Reed under that short little run there. I think you see that and say, well, there's no way this strategy is going to work out. We need to go ahead and cut our losses and come in and pit now.
Yeah, I personally think it's not maybe the last time you've seen McCauley and Reed hit pit road tonight. If we get a decent run, I think we could see guys hit pit road because they have an extra set of tires. So I think if we get a decent enough run, these guys will still hit pit road, but it's tough. I mean, now, Travis Everett, Jadrosich, Fitzpatrick, and Burns here, all not in the greatest positions now because the rest of their, I guess you could say their bubble is gone.
Yeah, they don't have that extra group of cars behind them to try to just make these guys push a little bit harder to get around them, run a slightly out of line, put a little bit more heat in the tires for sure. I imagine here within the next 3 laps, Cody McCauley will be back to the lead.
3 laps from 5th, I could see that very yeah, that could definitely happen. I'd hate to say 2 laps. I mean, if he gets a good enough restart, but we'll have to see how that plays out. I mean, Reed's also right there with him, so he didn't get away from Reed. That would have been the big goal for him personally, is try to put as many cars in between him, Reed, as possible. But Dylan Reed's said, "Nope, teammate, sorry, you're not getting away today."
Yeah, you make a hole in traffic, and I'm gonna follow you through it. And one thing I've noticed, Cody McCauley was being extremely patient. Getting through traffic. He was a lot quicker, but I was seeing him hesitate his way through the field and around guys, just trying to figure out which is the best way to go. He's checking up a lot, making sure he had the speed where he could have gone 3 wide, but thought better of it just to play on the safe side. Very smart idea, and he's got back up to 5th place with a clean car here.
And that's the key, a clean car. And that's why he drove like that. I mean, a lot of drivers have an issue of they let a lot of laps in the race, but they get back in that 20th position now because the strategy's all shooken up and they had the fresher tires. They just drive through people, and that's not what Cody McCauley did. He used, as I'd like to say, his imbubla oblongata, and he used
Calm
that.
down, Bobby Boucher.
And he was able to navigate traffic. So congrats on Cody McCauley. That was good. That's what you want to see from a fast driver. Pace car is in. Green flag back out in the air as Kevin Jadrosich will lead us back down to turn 1.
They got all them teeth and no toothbrush.
All them teeth and no toothbrush. That's why they mad. That's what Mama said. Great racing going here in the dog leg. Look at this. Oh, man, there's racing all over the track. You got Cody McCauley going to 3rd place. Dylan Reed looking to sweep by all of them on the bottom lane. Oh, and there it goes. It sends around the teammate of Cody McCauley. He's up in the wall. Oh, no, and I think that's Bob Fitzpatrick also involved. That is unfortunate.
Not the beautiful Peter Max scheme.
No.
I saw that coming. Just Dylan Reed, he dove it in there, and there was space, but had he entered a little bit higher, he just cut the apron so much he had no choice but to wash up the racetrack. An unfortunate contact there, and the biggest thing is not only did it cause a wreck with the car that was arguably the fastest, but it was his teammate as well.
Yeah, unfortunate there. And I tell you what, the big thing there for me, Brandon, was the 131 went to the apron here and tried to make the pass, but he didn't. I didn't think he thought Bob Fitzpatrick would give him as much room as he did. Bob Fitzpatrick really up the racetrack. I think the 131 thought he would be near the yellow line, so he tried to run under that line, and then, it just didn't work out there as Fitzpatrick was way up the racetrack. He slides up in front of him, and really nowhere for Bob Fitzpatrick to go. And then Cody McCauley just kind of innocent bystander there going around the outside.
Yeah, it was a mix of too much room, like you diving in that shallow. He's trying to give himself more room just to make sure that he's not going to wash up by overdriving, and then it kind of caused him to overdrive essentially later into the corner as a result of that. It's just unfortunate, man. You've got to try to predict so often where cars are running in relation to you, and try to figure out what guys are going to do as you're trying to pass them. And a lot of accidents happen just simply because two guys predict what the other's doing wrong, and not really due to much fault of anybody else's.
Well, Dylan Reed's now transferred to the lead. The rest of the drivers in front of him hit pit road. Craig Burns decided not to pit as well, so he's still decided yet to pit here. Maybe he tries to stretch it to the end here, Brandon.
I don't know. He took some pretty heavy damage with the contact between Bob Fitzpatrick and Cody McCauley there. His nose is pretty wrinkled. It's not the worst car on the track for sure, but definitely not going to help.
Yeah, it's not great to have damage.
Got Kevin Zabladell out there in chat saying he's going to get a ping pong ball company to sponsor him.
Hey man, sometimes we're the ping pong ball, and sometimes we're the paddle. But it feels like we're the ping pong ball a lot more. I know how that is.
Sometimes you're the ping pong ball, sometimes you're the cup, and sometimes you're the hair in the water. I know.
Big oof. Big oof. Never good with hair in the water.
No.
Not a fan. Not a fan. As I would say, big fan, but not a fan. Yeah. Well, Brandon, we got 15 cautions now. We've had a big rash of them. My question: do we hit 20? What would you say if you're a betting man? We're out here betting. We're throwing down money. Are they going to hit 20, do you think? Do you think this cleans up? We get a run to the end? Because I've seen stuff like this happen. But I've also seen it go down to the very end and be still wow.
Well, okay. So how many laps do we have left, and how many cautions have we had so far?
We've got 15 cautions, and we are just under 35 to go.
Ooh.
Well, pace car's in, back green flag racing. McCauley's thinking about what's going on, but I tell you what, oh no, the 059, Stephen Baldwin did not get going. That inside lane, nowhere to go. And oh man, that's unfortunate for the 059. And I tell you what, everybody on the inside too, especially John Willett, was losing a lot of speed there from that inside line, just not going.
I wonder if maybe he miscued the gear or he was starting in.
It's very possible he could have been in still high gear, and it's easy to do there. As you can see, 059 back here now, getting pressured by the 11 of Matthew Rush as this field races through turn 1 and 2.
I'm thinking about it. I'm going to go for blackjack here and say 21.
21. He's going to go blackjacking out here. I'm going to say we're going to hit a good old 17. I think we have 2 more cautions. I think we get some green flag racing here. And as I say that, they're going to spin out, but don't do that. It's a hornet's nest back here with the 6. I tell you, it's just a hornet's nest back here. No, the 6. Why'd I talk about you? Sorry. Or not the 6.
Oh, Cody McCauley's around.
Oh, no. Cody McCauley goes around our 16th caution of the evening, brought to you by Nissan Central, is out. And Macaulay caught up in another wreck in that 62 machine. A great night. Went bad to now worse.
Yeah, just a product of the checkup for the 6. The contact between Kevin Ruff and the 6. Kevin Zabeldo couldn't quite get over the radio. He said to call that out and checked up a little bit harder. And unfortunately, 62 could not quite check up in time to avoid the contact there. So it has been a rough night for that 17 tonight.
Yeah, a little bit of contact there between Kevin Ruff and I think. Is it? Oh, that is a Giadricic, isn't it? That it is. I keep seeing that as the 6. Oh, he does have the 6 on it.
Yeah,
okay.
His number's backwards on
wow.
his roof.
Whoa. That messed me all up, man. Made me think of Rusty Modesty was out here wrecking, but it's actually Kevin Giadricic there getting a little help there in the 9. So under our 16th caution of the season.
I love how even I knew the fact that he had the number backwards on the roof, and I still called him the 6.
I didn't even know. Like I saw the 6 was sideways, and I was like, "Oh no, I'm talking about the 6." And I was talking about Rusty Modesty, but it's actually Kevin Giadricic. So big oof for the freaky fast boof.
Somebody get this man a record deal.
Okay, I was waiting for it. I was waiting for your
spitting bars
praise.
out here.
Yeah. Oh man. I'll tell you what. I think Burns has decided he's just staying out.
Might as well, man. If you're gonna keep getting cautions, even with the older tires, I think they can make it on fuel at this point. There's been enough caution laps. He has to be able to make it on fuel.
I think he could, like, definitely do a whole nother race, probably, with the fuel he's saved now.
Look at GT back up to 5th position.
Wow. Curtis Preston, too, last season champion, up to 4th. Those two sitting in pretty good shots here. Smarole, gotta give.
Christopher Smarole is about to say up to 6th right now.
What a race for him after finishing 2nd tonight in the ARCA series. He's coming here and proving that he can do it with the big boys out here tonight. So that's a great sign for that 014.
Yeah, good sign of things to come for Christopher Smarole. Guys definitely going to be paying attention to that.
Yeah, I'd be jotting that one down. First Cup Series racing, you come out here and perform like he is. That's a great way to start off start off his Cup Series career here. But not only to, I think he can carry some of that momentum back to the ARCA series and say, man, I can, I should be one of the top prospects here, personally.
Yeah, and even, just behind him, the 28, Junior Miller, up in the 7th position, up 21 spots after his incidents tonight. Daniel Gonzalez in the 84 in 8th, up 15. Michael Sheffield, we have not talked about him much tonight. Had a little bit of contact earlier, missing his rear bumper. Up here, fighting for a top 10 now.
Wow, what a great battle for him. Tony Ludi, 36 to 10th, Brandon. Woo.
Everything's getting shaken up.
It's shaking up here at the Phoenix Raceway as we're about to go back green flag racing here. As the pace car pulls in this time, Dylan Reed's going to take off and set a burner as we go down to turn 1 with Craig Burns there. That 12 machine at the 88. Trevor Massetti, too, coming into the picture in 88. So he's also snuck up into this picture here in his top 3.
Well, I think it's a matter of time before GT and Curtis are able to get by the 12, the 88 of Craig Burns and Trevor Massetti. I think that at that point we're really going to have to see if they can do anything with the 131 at this Reed.
I think the 9 of Kevin Giadricic is going around. Oh, they're all stacking up back here. Oh, yep, Giadricic is going around. That's going to be another. Nope.
Yep.
Nope. Yeah, that's the caution. 17th of the night. Brought to you by Nissan Central. All right, guys, I said you're going to have 17 cautions. You got to stop now. So, unfortunately there, another caution here brought out. And it looks like it started around the 9 and I believe the 059 Stephen Baldwin. So, some contact there between him and I tell you what, that was a heavy lick. So we got 25 to go now, Brandon. It's been a wild race so far. Been lots of ups and downs. And I tell you what, there's gonna be a lot of mad guys, I think, after tonight's race too.
Yeah, I think so as well. There's going to be a lot of guys that are, and it's not really much that's happened. It's been, you know, anyone's specific fault. It's just really close racing. I mean, it's just a lot of product of a lot of cars on a really tough track.
It's tough, man. This place is it's always known to do this. I mean, you definitely, I've seen green flag races here before, but it's tough when you got this many cars and you got so much going on this racetrack. It's hard to get green flag laps, and it helps when you get spread out, though. The more you get spread out, the better it goes. But still, you have a lot of self spins. This place is just a tough racetrack.
Yeah, and like you said, I've had a couple green flag races here, but a green flag race at Phoenix, it's a diamond in the desert, man. You don't find them very often.
Yeah.
And like you said, it's just such a tough track. It took me a really long time to even be able to string a race here where I didn't spin once. And I still consider it to be my worst track just because of just how tough it is each and every time you come here. There's just something new you have to overcome to keep your car in one piece. It's constantly changing, and then even more so from the start of a race to the end of a race, with the temperature change and the rubber change on the surface. There's just a lot of things to take into account on an already difficult track.
Look at this good run. Look at Daniel Gonzalez here, up to 7th at 84. So great run for him. But we had a question. I think we can ask, or we can answer. I feel like pretty well here, to our producer here, Robert. He's asking, what makes this track so difficult? I think it's a combination of multiple things. Okay, the track being flat, yeah, it doesn't help. It's hard to drive flat racetracks, first of all, and anything. The flatter track, less banking, less grip, everything. That's a big factor. But I think the biggest factor is the size of the track. We're looking at a track that you get pretty high speeds. I mean, these guys are going upwards of 150, 160 mile an hour here at this racetrack. But then you're slowing down to these flat, narrow corners. It's a short track, but with a bigger track feel. So I think it equates to higher speeds, less reaction time. Whenever you're going faster, you have less time to react when stuff happens. And also, just this place is a place where you can race side by side, and it's a handful. These cars are not easy to drive here, very loose. I don't know if there's anything else you can add, Brandon, but it's just a lot of factors that play into this racetrack being a tough place to get good green flag racing.
And I'd add a couple things, adding on to the flat track racing. It's a track that's really penalizes more than any other track, even a slight bit of overdriving into the corner because of that lack of banking. And also, I think it's just due to the aero package of this car, where it tends to have that snap loose handling, seemingly at every track. And especially overdriving a little bit in the center, you're going to push tight on the exit. It's going to encourage you to snap loose, trying to keep it out of the wall.
Great insight there, I must say. We'll have to pull that pace car in as we get ready to go back. Whoa, what is Greg Burns is throwing everything off here. It's wrecking. That's going to send Nolan Potter around. And I tell you what, man, I think Burns was trying to time it there, but just missed it completely. And that caused a huge stack up. And now we have our 18th caution of this race.
I think that's just, it's getting so late. Guys are just making that was a huge mental error out of the 12.
And the big thing for him is he's not going to have to pay for it unless he got black flag there. I don't know how that's going to handle that, but
I'm not sure. But that inside lane, pretty much everybody on the inside lane behind Dylan Reed, even Dylan Reed himself, a lot of damage for those guys. GT Irizarry has a lot of nose damage now. Looks like Trevor Massetti's probably going to have a lot of nose damage as well.
Yeah, the thing is, when you see what happened there, Nolan Potter got sent from that checkup there, hitting the inside wall, bringing out that caution there. But the big thing that happened in that whole situation right there is the 12 going caused the whole field behind Dylan Reed. The cars that are directly Trevor Massetti, he knew Dylan Reed didn't go, so he didn't go. But the guys third in line, GT Irizarry, the guys fourth in line, they see that car on the outside lane take off, and it's kind of like, oh, we're going. They can't see the leader, so they can only see the car directly ahead of them. So that's what it equates to. And I think Burns actually there getting a penalty for that. He's gonna have to looks like he's gonna get a black flag for that there. I'm not sure actually. What
I think that may be a
the
penalty. I'm
fifth?
not sure how they're gonna judge that, but like you talked about, it's something we've mentioned before, and it's something they mentioned in real life here, that the front stretch, before they reconfigured where the start-finish line was, it is one of the hardest places in the sport to restart because you cannot see anything in front of you. It's so flat. These cars, the spoilers are so big. There's not a lot to see, and GT, like you talked about, he sees the car on the outside going, and that tells him, hey, the guys in front of me are going when they're not. And just had that incident like that, and I thought for a second something happened with Dylan Reed. Maybe he tried to restart and was in a wrong gear, but I think it was just Craig Burns just got a really big jump on that restart.
Yeah, these guys are trying to let the pace car by at the moment. And a lot of confusion going on right here, right now. And that's what happens when you get a caution directly off the green flag. It's going to cause a lot of confusion here, but I think we'll be good once the pace car catches Dylan Reed here in the back straightaway. I think we'll be all good to go from there. But yeah, with under 20 to go, I'm not hitting pit road because I tell you what, the way the cautions are playing, you're not getting back up there in time.
I think you're right. The biggest thing now is these guys that were involved in this checkup, they're gonna have to hope that they don't have any engine damage and that their cars are not gonna be able to overheat. The benefit is that rolling around at pace speed like this, you can put it in fourth gear and not, worry about it overheating. But if it's gonna overheat on the quick runs that you're gonna have here, you've just got to hope the cautions keep falling quick enough that you're not gonna lose position and the engine's not gonna hand grenade on you.
Well, this is weird. So Craig Burns is now the leader. So I guess not receiving a penalty there. It's going to transition the lead to him with a single file restart here also. So a little bit interesting here.
Yeah, the single file restart absolutely gonna shake stuff up. We're gonna have guys that are, by the time they take the green flag, guys are still gonna be like, nearly into turn one, or coming out of turn two. Interesting for Craig to be considered the leader right now, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Short of a black flag of giving it back to Dylan Reed here.
Yeah, very interesting. Very interesting. Clearly 12 jumping the restart, but guess it's going to transfer over to him now as the pace car's in. He's going to take off this time and have 3 assets going he wants. So they're off and away. Single file restart. And I tell you, that's going to get a lot of guys way behind here now as we head down to turn one with Craig A. Burns leading the field here.
Well, I think with the single file restart, we may have a good run here, but I mean that's still dependent on a lot of things. Dylan Reed making a hard charge now for the get back to the lead here for Craig Burns, but we got a car slow on the front stretch, no caution going into turn one. Looks like that is Travis Everett.
Yeah, he had pitted too, and so I had some mistake in the back of this field. As we got a race for the lead though here with under 20 to go, going to be coming to 15 to go next time. Dylan Reed going to power down here into 3 and 4 as Craig Burns there gets to the rear bumper, but 31's going to power off, and the 12's going to lose it, and he's going to wreck. And that's going to bring out our caution. Man, oh man. Tough spot there. 19th caution of the night brought to you by Nissan Central with 15 to go here. And that's going to send Craig Burns around, and he's going to take that thing to pit road.
I mean, that really is going to help Travis Everett, but I think just due to the fact he's back in 31st position right now, That's a tough break for him. He was running up toward the front for a lot of this race here, and I mean, I guess that kind of fixes the problem with jumping the restart there for Craig Burns, essentially giving it back to Dylan Reed here. But that puts Curtis Preston now up to second place here, and Trevor Massetti third. Daniel Gonzalez still hanging tough in that fourth position.
Yeah, Daniel Gonzalez, great run. And he could be a big beneficiary from all this, mess tonight.
Well, take advantage of other people's misfortune. Also got to talk about the 28 Junior Miller, 20 positions up. Yep. 13 Tody Ludi, and 27 positions up in ninth place. Junior Miller in eighth position. So these guys a lot of guys have taken advantage of a lot of these cautions and been able to kind of keep out of it for the most part. A good bit of damage on quite a few of these cars, but still maintaining really good track position despite all that.
Yeah, I tell you what, Cody McCauley also up to 18th after winning stage 1 and stage 2 and getting involved in an unfortunate incident and another incident after that. So decent rebound there. He might be able to crack the top 15, maybe the top 10, and that would definitely take some of the sting out of this race here.
And it looks like Travis Everett going to be the lucky dog this time. So, yeah, that caution on the restart there, that seemed to really threw a wrench in things for quite a few people, putting them way behind.
Yeah, we had some definitely weird stuff playing out there, but I tell you what, now we got Dylan Reed leading, looking to go for his third win this season. You got Curtis Preston, past season champion, and he's a race winner this season too already. You got Trevor Massetti there in the 88, pole setter at Daytona, great run throughout these first 4 races, and now this 5th race having another great run, top 5 in points. Then you got Daniel Gonzalez, great feel-good story there to see him running in that 4th position here in the 84. Also, Christopher Smurl there in the 6th position in that 014. So great runs, same with Junior Mill in the 28, Tony Ludi, like great runs for those cars here tonight.
And, Michael Sheffield talked about, we hadn't talked about him much. He's been sitting in the back. He's up to 13th now, 14 positions up. Also, Nathan Campbell involved in a big wreck early on, up 14 positions, hanging on to a top 10 right now. I believe he doesn't have a front clip on that car. Quite a few guys making pretty good pace without a nose on their cars.
They definitely are making pretty good pace with just some modifieds out here, I feel like a modified get around here pretty quickly too, so I'm not surprised. But it looks like we're going to have another single file restart here as they'll be coming by this time here. I believe they'll be taking the 1 to green. So when we take the green flag, it should be 10 to go here at the Phoenix Raceway. I'll tell you what, can Curtis Preston replicate his success at last season's championship with another win here at Phoenix?
Well, we know he's got the speed and he knows how to get around here. And that race wasn't too long ago, only about 2 months or so. So still got to be pretty fresh on his mind, and see if he can capitalize on his experience and get around Dylan Reed, who's been arguably pretty much tied for the fastest car to beat here, with the 62 being taken out earlier on.
Yes, it definitely has been interesting there in that book. But I tell you what, we're about to close the book here tonight for Phoenix. Round number 5. Been a long chapter here, but we're going to get this thing all settled and ready to go as the pace car will look to pull in this time as Dylan Reed, second place points man, going to be looked to go for 2 in a row and get his 3rd win of the season. Pace car is in. Reed is off and away. Great restart, great timing by him, and gets himself a 2-car length gap as they head down to 1. But Curtis Preston in hot pursuit.
A little bit of a checkup about the 5th position on back. Yellow. Oh, so we got another caution.
Another caution. Oh, multiple cars wrecking back here, guys.
Kip Easley going around there.
Man, oh man. Looks like the 3 of Bob Fitzpatrick there involved with the 24 Kip Easley there as they go down the 1. And
yeah, and that's just Kip Easley in the 24. He was dedicated to that inside lane there, and with as flat as the track is, getting on the brakes hard, you're just going to go straight. Unfortunately, Zach knows that from experience.
Yes. Very well.
Yeah, opposite set of corners, but same result. And when you commit and you drive in there, it doesn't matter if you're like, oh man, there's going to be contact. If you hit the brakes, it really doesn't matter what you do. Your car is going to go straight, and you're still going to have that contact. So unfortunate there. And that's just Bob didn't figure he was going to try to dive in that far and just try to wider entry. And same real estate doesn't work out very well in racing.
Yeah, unfortunate there to bring out another caution here tonight for the 20th Or Nissan Central caution. So we've been Or Nissan Central it up tonight. I think I actually this may be a freaky fast record for most times I said Or Nissan Central. So it's one for the record books here tonight at the Phoenix Raceway.
They got some discussion about switching it back to double file restarts. Not sure exactly what they're gonna go for it. Okay, they're gonna double file.
Interesting. We'll go back double file restart here to end this race. It's gonna make it interesting. I think for Reed that plays out almost better. If he can get the second and third place guys battling, that gives them less time to have a chance at him.
Well, we know the way that Curtis Preston's got to be approaching this. We talked about it in the ARCA race. You've got to clear that third place car, and he's been doing a really good job of hanging with Dylan Reed for these restarts. He hasn't been able to give up too much. I think that last restart, it looked like Dylan Reed may have tried to start first gear because he shot out like a rocket, even though Curtis Preston was right with him.
Yeah, Preston was right with him. So this ain't over. You know what I'm saying? If Reed has one little slip up, it's going to be a big race here down to the very end, in my opinion. It's going to, I think he needs to nail this restart. It's going to come down to nailing the restart.
And I wonder if it's almost more beneficial to start in the third position. Because Zach and I know from experience, if you haven't done any racing on iRacing 1, highly recommend to go ahead and check it out. Really easy to get into, great service, and it's a lot of fun. If you're any kind of motorsport enthusiast, they've got pretty much anything you could ever hope to race as far as cars go. Well, race cars go. It's not like Gran Turismo where you're out here riding around in a Ford Taurus. But the vision for that second place car, if you're not in VR or have triples, if you just got a single monitor, VR preferably be the easiest way to do it, but you just can't see when they go, and sometimes you get caught sleeping even though you're right on it. So I think it might be beneficial to be that third car because you have the direct view of when the leader goes directly in front of you.
Well, looks like it's going to be... Oh, we got switched to doubles, but it looks like singles still here as Reed takes off here. Green flag in the air with 5 to go here at the Phoenix Raceway. Look, GT Irizarry, look at the inside Daniel Gonzalez. Woo! That could have got spicy down to 1. Looks like Gonzalez going to hold him off here, but GT trying to get himself in that picture here as Reed is shot out of a cannon up to a 4 car length, up to almost a 5 car length gap here up front, and he'll be coming to 4 to go.
Daniel Gonzalez looked like maybe that was a desperation block there going into turn 1, but he's kept this. Oh no, he's in the wall.
Oh, he's in the wall, but he's all good. He keeps it going. Look at this though. Oh, well, that goes under him. So does Sparrow. Sparrow looking to get 6th position here as Gonzalez trying to hold on with no front end here. A lot of damage. GT Irizarry up to 4th position. Dylan Reed comes out of 4 this time. He will see 3 to go. 3 laps remain here at the Phoenix Raceway for the RSR Cup Series for round number 5. Can Dylan Reed hold him off as he's got about a 7/10 of a second lead over the 29 of Curtis Preston? Looks pretty strong right now. Tony Ludi battling with Cody McCauley here as Kevin Ruff here directly ahead in the 11th position. This is going to battle for a top 10 position here and a 62 in position here as he's working his way through the field.
Yeah. Oh, contact ahead of him.
Oh, the 112 with Kevin Ruff. 62, Cody McCauley goes to the inside. Oh, almost more contact. Dylan Reed trying to navigate through 3 and 4. He wants one to see that white flag. Brought to you by Sheffield Graphics as he comes out of 4. The Sheffield Graphics white flag is in the air. One final time here for Dylan Reed as he makes a little mistake going down into 1, but he's going to be able to catch that there in that 131. Looking to go back-to-back here tonight at the ISM Raceway. Can he win race number 3 of this season at Daytona and Auto Club in the books already? Here he comes off of turn 4, and Dylan Reed will be your race winner here tonight at the Phoenix Raceway. Congrats to the 131 Dylan Reed, as Curtis Preston brings home second with Trevor Massetti in that 3rd spot.
Yeah, GT Irizarry still able to drag race John Willett to hold on to that 4th position across the line.
Great run there from the 131 of Dylan Reed. Here to bring home his 2nd straight victory, as he'll bring it down to the front straightaway and show us his excitement here for getting this victory in the RSR Cup Series. As he heads down to the front straightaway, he's going to do a little drift. Oh, and he's taking lessons from Hunter Hayward. Burnout. So, but that's not a good one to learn from, but he's still going to burn it down here. Congrats to Dylan Reed on the win, and we will be back in a few moments here with our top 3 finishers on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. All right, we are back here at Freaky Fast Broadcasting with our top 3 finishers here tonight at the Phoenix Raceway for round number 5, complete and in the books. We got our top 3 here. Trevor Massetti. Let's see what his thoughts are here tonight on getting his 3rd top 5 finish through these first 5 races. So this is Trevor Massetti, your 3rd place finisher. Hey, Trevor, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
I gotcha.
Well, dude, what a great race again for yourself here tonight. A very wild race, 20 cautions, a lot of stuff to navigate through. And for a while there, starting at 15th position, you were, in the 18th to really anywhere from there to 12th position for a while in this race. But you were able to work strategy, get yourself in position, and slowly get yourself right into the fold of things here and bring it home in the 3rd position, man. So how'd you pull that off?
Honestly, it was a lot of luck, I think, because I did not feel confident in the car and was falling back, losing a lot of positions. And then I think I saw GT and Curtis and the guys up front start to pit, so I figured I'd go with them and just take my luck. And just got lucky avoiding stuff and squeezing through things, so I worked out, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely did. You definitely worked yourself into a better spot here to end this race, able to bring it home in 3rd. Tough race for a lot of guys out there tonight. And like you said, just didn't have the handle on the car here tonight. But head to Atlanta. We've had some mile and a half. Sorry, you've shown some speed these mile and a halves. How do you feel going into the Atlanta race weekend?
I feel good. I usually run decent at Atlanta. I think it's pretty fun track. Definitely have to save tires, so I'll be working on that, and hopefully we can put together another good finish.
Well, buddy, we'll have to check it out there next week. But before we let you go, Trevor, anybody want to send a shout out to?
Yeah, I want to say hi to my mom, dad, Grammy, and Nono, and thank you to my whole team and all the admins who put on the league and you guys for broadcasting.
All right, Trevor, thank you very much, and we will catch you next week at Atlanta.
Thank you.
All right, that was Trevor, your third place finisher here tonight. Let's go into last season's Cup champion, Curtis Preston, and see what his thoughts are tonight on his second place finish. Hey, Curtis, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Yeah, what's going on, Zach?
Hey, man, it's going great up here in the booth. Well, able to bring home the 29 in the second place position here tonight after, I'm sure, having the sweet spot of winning the championship here last season at Phoenix. You're able to come back here and have another great run to bring it home in second. Had 20 cautions tonight out there, so a tough night for a lot of drivers out there, but you were able to put yourself in a great position down to the very end. How tough is it as a driver, having those quick cautions like that to keep your mindset, in the race the whole time?
It's real tough, especially when you start getting towards the end and that trend still continuing, because then the guys up front, we all got that mentality of the next one's coming in 5 laps. So it makes the restarts wild because we're all going for it because we know another one's coming. So it makes the intensity level crank up. We're all just racing to the next yellow flag, and then it's just trying to stay mentally focused to hit your marks back, adjust your brakes right. Okay, the tires are cooled off. It's just it's mentally tiring more than anything when it goes like that.
Oh, definitely was. You could definitely see that out there on the racetrack. So great insight from yourself there, Curtis, on that aspect of racing out here. Tough night here at Phoenix for a lot of guys, but like you said, you were able to put yourself in position here down to the very end, put yourself in second, and another great finish here to start off the season. We head off to Atlanta next week. The mile and a half's there at Atlanta. How you feeling about the Atlanta racetrack?
I feel pretty good about it. We won that one last year. We've run pretty good here at the mile and a half. Pretty comfy with it. We've made some changes in the cockpit here over the last week, and it kind of took towards the end of the race, I think, before we really started getting used to it. We made some pedal adjustments and stuff like that, ergonomics, working on the cockpit, but always feel good at the mile and a half. Feel like we can contend anywhere we go, so we'll be looking forward to it.
Oh, that's for sure. Past season champion here, Curtis Preston, always a threat at every racetrack. So you're definitely going to be up there. I would not doubt that. But congrats on second here tonight, Curtis. It was another great run for yourself in the 29. Anybody want to send a shout to before we let you go?
Yeah, I got to give a shout out to the guys at Slide Jobs Racing, man. Mike Sheffield and GT and Travis. You guys are great to race with. Appreciate Ryan and Mike Sheffield for what they do for this league. We had a rough go tonight, but we know what this is, for the long haul and everything. Appreciate Ord Nissan Central, ButtKicker, and Sheffield Graphics for everything that they do. And, of course, you guys in the booth. Really appreciate what y'all do.
Well, thank you very much, Curtis. We appreciate you guys out on track. And it was a rough night, but like you said, we all know the big picture of things here, and Phoenix can be tough. So congrats on second here tonight, and we will catch you next week in Atlanta.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
Yep, you too, man. All right, that was last season champion Curtis Preston bringing home that second place finish. But now we'll move on to our race winner back-to-back after his win last week at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. He's able to come out here to Phoenix Raceway, and he said this was one of his favorite racetracks. So great to see him pulling off the victory here. Let's see what his thoughts are on pulling off back-to-back here. Hey, Dylan, it's Zach up in the booth. You got a copy, man?
Yes, sir.
Well, buddy, another fantastic race from yourself. Coming in here second in the points tonight. Already had 2 wins to your name. And, we talked to you last week after your win at Las Vegas. You said this was one of your favorite places, and you felt like you could get around here pretty well. Well, you proved that here tonight, man. How was it out here at the Phoenix Raceway?
It was good. I would have liked to have seen a few more green flag laps. I felt like that's where my car really started to come in. It felt like right as I was chasing Cody down. It was right when the caution would come out every time. But other than that, the car felt good. We had good short run speed this week. It's not something that I'm good at, is short run speed. So overall, the car felt really good.
Yeah, definitely. You could see it tonight. That 131 had the short run speed early on, and you had the long run speed. Like you said, just the cautions coming out right when you just start to feel like you're starting to reel in Cody McCauley there. And, unfortunately, he got caught up in something. But, I would ask Curtis about or Curtis Preston this question also. As a driver, getting those quick cautions like that continuously coming out, how does that affect your mindset as a driver? How does that change how you drive too?
Honestly, it just makes the race not as entertaining for me. I just kind of like lose focus when there's that many cautions. So it made the restarts kind of I don't know the correct word for it, but just I wasn't ready for them almost in a sense with so many cautions. I just couldn't get my brain focused on restarts. Took a few laps, and then after those first few laps, I was like, all right, now we're in a groove. Now we can get going.
Oh, that's great details, man. Yeah, it's definitely, it's kind of how we felt up in here at the booth. It's hard to get yourself back in that mindset of green flag racing when you're constantly, hold up, let's reset them again. So definitely great info there from yourself, man. We head off to Atlanta next week, and I know you won 2 in a row now. This is your 3rd win of the season. Do you think there's any chance you could go there and put yourself in victory lane? Because I mean, you're really fast to Las Vegas. I mean, another mile and a half. What do you feel about Atlanta?
I mean, I hate to break it for everybody, but Atlanta's my home track. Kind
Oh
of really
no.
good at it. So I'm excited for Atlanta. You burn a lot of tire there, and I'm pretty good at saving tire. I like to say I'm pretty good at saving tire. So we burn a lot there, and I'm ready for it. I'm excited. Got a couple tricks up my sleeve for turn 1 and 2 that I don't think a lot of people know about. I'll keep those up my sleeve for next week. It'll be a lot of fun.
It will definitely be fun to see if you can pull off that 3-peat. That would be something to watch for sure, man. Well, but congrats again on the victory here tonight. Before we let you go, anybody want to send a shout to?
Yeah, as always, thanks to my wife for letting me race as much as I do. Missed my spotter today. He couldn't quite make it. Had internet issues, but Chris, he's always out here helping me out. And then obviously thanks to you guys for broadcasting it. You guys put on a great show. I watch them every week. It's a lot of fun. And then for Ryan and Sheffield putting this league together, it's a lot of fun, and I have a blast.
Awesome stuff doing, man. Well, congrats again tonight on the victory, and we will catch you next week at your hometown, Atlanta.
Yeah, man. You guys have a good one.
Yeah, you too, buddy. All right, you heard from himself. 2-time back-to-back winner in a row here. 3 on the season through the first 5 races. Dylan Reed off to a hot start in our first 5 races of the season. Congrats to him on the victory here tonight. But man, oh man, what a race it was. 20 cautions here. Very grueling. A lot of bent fenders and bent feelings, as I said from the very beginning. So at least it went the way I thought it was. And here is our race results. Dylan Reed bringing home that victory. Second's going to be Curtis Preston. Third, Trevor Massetti. Fourth's going to be GT Irizarry. Fifth, John Ouellette. Sixth is going to go to Christopher Smerol. Seventh is Daniel Gonzalez. Eighth, Nathan Campbell. Ninth, Junior Miller. 10th position will be James Courtrone. 11th is Cody McCauley. 12th is going to be Tony Ludy. 13th, Kevin Ruff. 14th, Michael Sheffield. 15th, Matthew Rush. 16th, Kevin Zabladil. 17th, Dustin Stallings. 18th, Kip Easley. 19th, Casey Kuntz. 20th, Anthony Hughes. 21st, Ryan Bean. 22nd, Travis Everett. 23rd, Nolan Potter. 24th, Kevin Giadrich. 25th, Chad Biesinger. 26th, Bob Fitzpatrick. 27th, Andrew Little. 28th, Marc-Andre Thibodeau. 29th, Rusty Modesty. 30th, David Hall. 31st, Stephen Baldwin. 32nd, Craig A. Burns. 33rd, Ryan Ezel. 34th, Alex Rudolph. 35th, Zach Schrittenthal. 36th, Kevin Sabilla. Rounding out your field in the 37th position is Adam Buzzio in the 55. And that is your race results tonight here from the ISM Raceway after 160 laps of battle here for the RSR Cup Series. What a night it was. Brandon, just let me know your thoughts, man.
Well, we've seen the checkered flag and we have made it to the promised land. We know the races we typically expect out of the Evolution Racing Leagues, and I can't really blame them. Races like this happen, and especially at a track like Phoenix, which we talked about so many times throughout the night that it was really, really tough. So congratulations to all these guys, and scrapping together these great finishes with beat up race cars. And man, I'm excited to get to Atlanta. It's been well documented that it's probably my favorite track, and Dylan Reed talked about knowing some tricks there that he's going to keep hidden into himself, and I can imagine what a couple of those are. So I'm excited to see what he can do at that rough old beast of a racetrack.
Oh yeah, definitely. One of my favorite for sure mile and a half out there. It's just, so fun to racetrack. So can't wait for Atlanta next week. It's going to be a fantastic race. So make sure not to miss that here on Freaky Fast Broadcasting. But yeah, man, great night here. Tough on the racetrack, but great night overall. It's always a blast here at the RSR Cup Series. It's a great family here at Evolution Racing League. So we thank them. But we'll send it up to Robert Moyer Jr. himself here to close out tonight's broadcast.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen, for a tough track here tonight, calling these guys here with the Evolution Racing League. Some of these drivers are going to come out of here not wanting to come back here for a while after all the yellows that they've seen. Some are going to be saying, hey, I salvaged something out of this, and I wouldn't have salvaged out of it if it wasn't for all them yellows. So, but as you guys said, we will be live again with these guys next Tuesday night as they take on Atlanta Motor Speedway, Hot Slick Atlanta. So let's note on that too. That track can be very, very tough if you not know and treat it with a little bit of respect. It can get crazy out there too at that track. So, but until then, we like to say here at Freaky Fast, God bless everybody. Yeah, I'm just so late now. I just so many yellows, guys. I totally messed that all up. But anyways, God bless everybody. Love yous all. Peace out.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.